We're live. We did it. We're live. It's Wednesday already, John.
I know.
Can you believe that?
Just yesterday was only Tuesday.
I know. The week's going by so fast. Well, let's wait for a few people. It's always awkward when you first start it because you're not talking to anybody.
Well, folks, today we're gonna. You know what I pretend like I'm doing though when there's nobody watching? I'm talking to the future people that are gonna watch it next.
That's why we start out like, hey everybody, we're live, because it's kind of awkward when you're watching it after the fact.
Yeah,
and everybody's just silent for like 10 seconds, and it's like, oh, we're just waiting for people to log on. And you know who's always first? Produce. Hey, what's up, Produce? How's it going?
Produce,
not pills, and effervescent. We're here for our Wednesday live. We're excited.
Chris made soup.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a little mukbang. Well, I guess it's not really a big. It's just a little. We're
Just
gonna
a
eat
tiny
some
little. Oh, I dropped it.
I made some soup. Where if you guys want the recipe, you're gonna have to stick around until tomorrow because I might have a soup video going up tomorrow. If I edit it tonight.
Yeah, that's always the hard part for me.
Yeah. The hard part for me is eating it since I have a big beard. It gets all over my stash. But you know the troubles there.
Oh yeah. That's good. Oh, it's so good, dude.
Yeah. So, oh man, the soup is so. I'm so happy with the way it came out, and you guys will be too. See, I needed a napkin. I mean, Katie needs a napkin.
She does need one.
But this video is not about Katie because we're not going to conform to those COPPA laws.
What kind of soup, Chris? What would you call it?
I would call this, well, it's supposed to be like a fall soup, but it's more winter because it's technically still fall, but we're living in the winter.
Yeah.
It's winter here, even though it's technically fall.
Winter is here.
Not happy about that either. I wanted a little more fall.
Yeah, I get it.
John was just talking to me about the bread that I make, so that'll be coming up soon too.
Yeah. Every time you post an Instagram story on it, I'm like, man, it gets better and better.
People are probably wondering why I haven't posted it yet, because you got to do so much to perfect it. And I feel like if I post it too soon, I need to perfect it, like I think it could still be better. So that's what I'm doing.
A little different than what we used to do. Yeah, that's probably good. We just make the recipe on the spot sometimes.
So I just wanted to show you something on my channel. So this is interesting. So when you go to my channel, if anybody saw my long rant last week, anyway, this is the second channel. These are all my live streams and everything. But let's see. Let's bring it over to. I don't like the new version. I have to always go to the classic version, just because I'm used to it. We're loading here. We got a loading screen. What?
It said Janelle. Why? What was the copyright thing?
So that's what I'm talking about right here.
Okay.
So this one right here was demonetized because I played a video. I showed people a video from my other channel, my main channel, and that was a Halloween one. So I was showing them like the Rob Zombie Scarecon thing.
Yeah.
And I had music in it from my main channel. Now I subscribe to Epidemic Sound, so I can use any of their music royalty free, and I pay a certain amount of money each month for that. But I can only use it on one channel.
Okay.
I showed you guys some of that, so that video got demonetized. But then this one right here, I'm pretty mad about this one. This one was a live stream we did 2 weeks ago. Ask a 25-year vegan how to go vegan, and I also talked a little bit about my experience with bullying at the end. They demonetized it, and I'm pretty sure they demonetized it because of bullying. And I manually requested they review it, and look at that. Confirmed by manual review. So this is a 2-hour, 18-minute live stream. There's no way that they watched it all to say that they confirmed it. Like, what I'm talking about in bullying wasn't like a bad thing. I wasn't trying to encourage it. I was speaking out against it. But yeah, I got demonetized on it. So that's what we're talking about here.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have many views on it anyway, but I'm just mad that they would demonetize something like that. Like, it goes to show, like, you can't do anything on YouTube anymore.
The last 3 videos that I posted with Kristen, the live videos, it actually said limited monetization, and I had to request a review for all 3 of them.
And they gave it to you?
They did.
Good. Sometimes they do that, and I've only had them refuse my manual request twice. It was that bullying one, and it was another one when I was in LA. I was with Cesar. Mm-hmm. We went to Sun Cafe, and basically we just ate all day. There was nothing in that video whatsoever that could have been deemed inappropriate. And the reason why I think it was around the time that that movie, the Bird Box, came out, mm-hmm. and everybody was doing hashtag Bird Box Challenge, and some of the things were really stupid that people were doing. But we did a Bird Box Challenge. We were just joking around. It wasn't really a Bird Box Challenge. Cesar blindfolded himself while he tried to taste the food. That's it. And I hashtagged that Bird Box Challenge, and they demonetized it without really caring what we did in the video whatsoever. So they're just demonetizing certain hashtags, I feel, and I don't know. If you're just joining us, John's finished with his, but I made soup. Some nice fall veggie soup with the perfect... You tried the tofu. It was
very good.
So good.
Very good.
So I have 2 versions. You're probably wondering, well, it looks all pureed. It is. I have a chunky version, and I just basically heated it up and pureed it because I like it like this.
Yeah, I like it like that too. It was good.
Yeah, but the tofu was really good.
Marmaduke,
what's up? Yeah, hashtag vegan, Christelle. Yeah, it's soup night. If you caught us on a Friday, it'd be a pizza night.
Oh man, you know what I've been making for pizza lately?
What?
White pizza.
Oh, nice.
I use oil for my garlic sauce, and I've been putting broccoli and red onion on it, and it's so good. I made it like the last 4 pizzas.
Nice.
So I'm ready. I'm ready for something new. I think I got a new air fryer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, my old one broke.
Ooh.
And I had an Amazon gift card, not the one we got from Lizette, but one that I got from someone else. And Kristen made sweet potato fries the other night with it. Ooh, so good.
Nice. I was trying to rearrange the office. Can you see?
I'm actually the upstairs bedroom. I'm gonna rearrange and put like a little music studio up there so I can record some stuff, and I actually might do like vlogs up there.
Vlog Peterson.
Yep. Peterson.
You know, did it? So if you guys watch my main channel, which you guys probably do, I posted a UFO video. Remember?
Yeah.
With my dad. Well, this guy contacted us who was the commanding officer at that base that night. And he has since written 2 books.
What?
He since wrote 2 books on it, and he contacted me, and he wants to speak to my dad because there's not many people around that were there that know of that incident on that night that he has ever met before, and my dad's one of them, and he wants to talk to him, and I want to interview him.
Yeah. Where does he live?
Well, he lives over on the West Coast, but I'd love to interview him someday. He's actually in some of that video that I took clips from. He's in, I think, the actual program that I saw when I first saw it, where it alerted me to tell my dad about this. So, yeah, I'm excited about that, and I haven't seen my dad since, but I need to tell him to give the guy a call. And I just want to address some of the questions. I don't know if shared that video with his audience because it got a few more views the other day. But there was a lot of people that I feel like are like straight up conspiracy theorists that really critiqued the video hard. And I just want to, if there's anybody watching this from that, some of the things they were saying was like, first you got to know that my dad is very like, you know my dad.
Yeah, he's a character.
Yeah. So
I'm Tom Cooney.
When he printed out the map, you know, just for effect, he put a box with a red marker around where it happened, and he labeled it landing site. Well, these people took it as, wait a minute, you're telling us that you just saw something in the sky, but on that map it says something landed. And I'm like, dude, nothing landed. And then another thing they said was that they thought it happened at a specific missile silo. And because my dad, as he's telling the story, you know, first of all, he's remembering something from over 50 years ago. This is before I was born. And he says in the video, he said, you know, let's just call it Golf 1 or Golf 2 or something. So he wasn't exactly sure. He didn't remember the exact name of the exact missile silo that it was coming from, but he knew like the general names of some of them.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, wait a minute. He says it was this one. And I just want everybody to know, if there's anybody that was commenting on that, I am probably just as skeptical and much of a conspiracy theorist as anyone could be, especially when I was a little bit younger. And I want to know the truth about stuff. There's in no way are we getting paid by any government agency. My dad's not trying to hide anything. My dad simply, I asked him to be on video to tell his story. That's as genuine and as truthful as you're going to get. I have no reason whatsoever to lie to anybody about any of this. Anyway, with that being said, it's just kind of crazy seeing some of these comments on this. Yeah. It's like, dude, no one's lying to you guys. Oh, and the other thing they said, wait a minute. So you're saying that your dad's friends that were there, they had to sign a non-disclosure agreement so they could never talk about this again in their entire life, but nothing was said to your dad. Oh, sure, I believe that one. And it's like, first of all, this entire incident is declassified. Anybody can talk about it now. Even if they had to sign something back then, I assure you they can speak about whatever they have to today because it's declassified. It's not top secret anymore. It's not confidential. And no, my dad never, as far as I know, he never had to sign anything. So, I don't know, man. Some of these people, crazy. Might have some soup.
It's probably like a 13-year-old.
A lot of them.
You're a liar. I don't know why 13-year-olds talk that high.
Yeah,
you're a liar.
Like, they criticize everything. It's like the way your dad was talking. I know by his body language. No.
At least they didn't say anything mean about him, right?
Well,
like,
that's
my dad. Hey, bro, that's my dad. I will drive over to where you're keyboarding right now.
Yeah, I don't really care what people say about me, but don't say anything about my dad.
Yeah.
I will delete that comment so fast and come to your house. No. Just kidding. Maybe. Anyway, what's going on with all of you today? Do you guys have any questions for us? I have it right in the title. Ask us questions, 23 and 25-year vegans. Did you see?
23 and 25-year-old.
Oh, let's talk about this. Did you see that there's a guy that's suing Burger King because there was meat? Well, let's talk about that for a minute. So, first of all, do your research, man, because if you're that vegan and you really care about it, don't go eat at Burger King. I've already said it before. Burger King even says it. It's not geared towards vegetarians or vegans. It's made so people can eat less meat, okay? So it's not even made for vegans. They say it right there. Because you got to go like through a bunch of loops just to get it made vegan, and you don't even know if there's cross-contamination at that point. So I think what he's doing is pretty bad for veganism because Burger King is giving an option to so many people to eat less meat, and now they're getting sued for it. I don't think there's any merit to it because they never advertised it as being vegan.
Yeah.
But it's making vegans look bad. You know,
I agree.
It's like, oh, here's an option for you. Now you're going to sue us.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. They're just looking for money.
Yep, I agree. It kind of reminds me of the hot coffee McDonald's incident from many years ago.
Yeah, but somebody else brought that point up. That was completely different. If you look at the true facts behind that, they superheated that. That coffee was hotter than it should have been, and they gave it to her in a cup that broke. And it broke on her, and she got 2nd and 3rd degree burns. She was an old lady, and she had to go to the hospital. She had to have surgeries, and
so that's a legitimate claim.
That wasn't a legitimate claim, but she actually was awarded, or she sued for I think over $1 million, but she only got a couple $100,000, I think. So if you look at the real details of that case, because when you first hear it, I was like, oh my god, really?
Well, now this is definitely completely different because to me, there's just no merit.
That's the first thing that, okay, me being a vegan, the first thing I wanted to know, where's it cooked? And I know some people aren't like that, some people don't care, but I personally do. I want to know how it's cooked, and sure enough, they didn't have a vegan way to cook it other than put it in a microwave. But you have people that are working the job that are like 18, 19 years old, they have no idea what you mean when you don't want cross-contamination, whatever. So they may have just literally picked up a meat burger with their gloves on, and then when you said you wanted it in the microwave, they grabbed the vegan one with the same gloves and put it on there. But so now you're kind of it's the same thing as going through the grill. You don't want it because in the grill it's getting the other juices on it, but they just got the same juices on it with the glove that they're using. So really, unless you know somebody that works there, or unless you could go back there and make it yourself, it's kind of hard.
It's a gamble.
Yeah.
It's a gamble every time.
Yeah, and some people don't care about that, and I understand that argument too, because you're not like buying into any more animal exploitation by doing that, but you know,
it's gross.
Yeah, for me it's gross, so it's like an extra step further. There's no one reason why somebody is vegan. There's many reasons. You could be vegan because of the animals and also because you think it's gross.
Yep.
It's legit, you know?
Yep.
I like that there's a lot of reasons too, you know?
I mean, not even Impossible Burger related. You know how long it took me to even try the Beyond Burger because it grossed me out?
I remember, yeah.
I wouldn't do it because I'm like, it looks gross, it smells gross.
I had my reaction on we did a video. I was with Vegan Food Share, and I was with Derek Sarno, and I didn't want to try it. I was like, this is too real looking.
Yeah.
But it was good, and I was like, I kind of felt a little weird trying it, but
yeah. After I tried it at Strong Hearts, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite burger, but their sausages though, I love the Beyond sausages. They're super good in my opinion.
We got soup. By the way, there's no oil in this soup. It's all whole food. And I'm going to show you how to make it tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that video. Also, I missed it yesterday. I'm sorry. But yesterday was Patreon Awareness Day, Patreon Appreciation Day. And I want to say, if there's any patrons right here, thank you so much for all of your continued support. Thank you, any former patrons, everybody that has ever supported the channel, really. But as far as Patreon goes, it's a great way to let me keep creating and doing what I do and kind of offset the that financial difficulty there. So Patreon, and I'm going to be giving shout outs too on the end of my videos for Patreon. And if I can do it, I might show some people here, give a read off and stuff like that. So anyway, it's cold outside, but it's kind of warm in here.
While you were talking about that, I was like, I should post something on Patreon for Mockingbird for sure when I get home. I wanted to interview Janelle last weekend when I was there.
Yeah.
But like every day that I'm there, you just get caught up in the project and trying to get done before dark, and then you got to get home, and I couldn't meet up with her.
You either got
because I wanted to thank the patrons, at the end of that video, and
it would have been cool if you had somebody else there to like film you, like interview her as you were working. So like instead of just sitting in front of the camera, talk while you're working. That would be, I think, an interesting video.
Yeah.
Talking while you're doing the job.
Yeah. You know what the hard part for that is? Not for me, but I think for anybody else. When there's a camera person there, it's hard to be genuine. And I'm getting used to it now because I've been doing the lives with Kristen and doing these lives with you. It feels like it's just you and I talking. So we could be doing anything in this room and it wouldn't matter. But as soon as that third party comes in, that other person gets uncomfortable. They're thinking about it too much. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because I'm stuttering my way through this.
No. It's something I struggle with too. On a live stream, I can be so much more genuine than if there's a camera and I'm trying to do a video. I'm like, I don't like the way I sounded. Come on, just be you. Just be you. And, I'll do like take 1, take 2, take 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, I got to answer a question. Linda wanted to know why you're not eating.
Oh, I already ate.
He already ate his. I ate a little slower. We both had a bowl of soup. So, Aurora wants to know what she missed. Not too much. Only everything we've already talked about. Another question here. I can't find it, but somebody wanted to know, is it true if pigs are really as smart as they say they are? Yeah, studies show pigs to be smarter than even dogs. Pigs being smart is like 3 or 4 year old kids.
Yeah.
I think if I remember right, they're like the 4th smartest animal, most intelligent animal. Yeah, something like that.
Really, I didn't know that. You're a good statistics guy. Did you know 48% of the people use 60% of their brain 20% of the time?
Seriously. I've been watching a lot of The Office.
Yeah.
So he's like, if I accidentally hit somebody, so what are you gonna do? Sue me? No, don't sue me. Don't sue. That's not the point I'm trying to make.
So I ran over somebody with my car. Sue me. Oh man.
So we're here to answer you guys' questions. If you have any more questions, guys, now's the time.
Now's the time.
I went for a run last night with Zeke because he's this crazy spaz. So the whole time I'm running, he's pulling as I'm running. And then, as soon as I came home, because I can't leave Zeke unattended. So as soon as I came home, I grabbed Indy and Zeke and walked both of them. Because I don't think Indy can run as fast as me anymore and as far. And he always wants to go pee on every mailbox. But Zeke just wants to run the whole way. So Zeke went for a good amount of a outside adventure last night. And then when I was coming home, you guys got to remember this too, or not remember, but I'll tell you. Indy is like the most well-behaved dog compared to a lot of dogs, but compared to Zeke. Dog. Zeke, on the other hand, is a spaz. Okay, so if any car goes near us or passes us, he turns into a spaz. If that leash broke, he would get hit by that car because he's trying to kill that car when they go by. And I got to get into somebody's yard. I got to get right out of the road and into a yard as a car goes by. And this is like a late night walk, like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Man.
People are sleeping, and he's barking like crazy, like crazy. And I hear a car coming up from behind me going super duper slow. And I'm like, would you just hurry up? And of course, I'm wearing all black, and I got both my dogs with me, and it's a sheriff. And I'm like, don't even stop. Don't you dare stop. Because my dog's going to try to attack you, and you're going to do something bad. Don't even stop. Just keep going. And he just slowly passed me. Or she. I don't know. It might have been. And then pulled into the development, like a street before mine, and just slowed down right there. And Zeke will still bark until that car is out of his sight. It could be a mile down the road if he still sees those lights. God. So Adventures with Zeke.
So frustrating.
I try to take him for a walk super late at night when there's no cars.
Yeah.
And I made it almost the entire way until I was just a few houses from my house.
And then
then the sheriff comes by, you know?
So when I walk Belle now, I walk her late enough at night. I don't need to have the leash on her. She stays right next to me. And then if a car comes or I see another dog, I grab her and I hook the leash up. She's such a good girl. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Wilder, on the other hand.
Somebody wants to know how far we can recite pi. I think it's 3.14159.285, I think, but I can't recall anything after that.
That's already more than me. I'm pretty sure Caleb memorized 100 digits past the decimal point once.
Oh, wow.
Back when we were in Spiria together.
Well, maybe I'll have to remember. You know, I'm not even going to say it because I forgot. But I remember. No. But I started telling you guys. And then there's like...
Wait, there was another question I'm trying to remember. I think Graven asked.
Well, I've been giving Zeke my own puppy class, so he's been a lot better as I've been training him.
Thanksgiving food.
Ooh.
That's the next question.
We just had a Thanksgiving at Noah Craig's where we had a bunch of different foods. But
it looked so good.
If people are wondering for Thanksgiving, I did a whole segment last year where I did a video like every day for like a week and a half of all Thanksgiving foods. And before that, you and I made countless Thanksgiving foods. I mean, we have so many things.
That's like what we did.
Yeah.
Like our first few recipes was like, what do we make on Thanksgiving? Or like any other food party, reason to have a food party. Food party?
It's always a
party.
party.
Thing.
I remember like being at your house. This is years before we started the Vegan Zombie. And I was making the broccoli spinach cheddar roll. And you were making the stuffed shells and tofurkeys. I mean, tofurkey's been around since we went vegan.
Yeah.
It's been around forever.
Yeah. I actually am going to have the tofurkey vegan ham Thanksgiving Day, I think. Although, I think I might go to Mockingbird in the morning and do like some stuff if my back works.
I do make some stuffing from my homemade bread sometimes, and I also made it last year out of like a cauliflower. It was really good.
Oh, is that the roasted cauliflower that you did that one time? That was so good.
What's my favorite vegan creation? I think I make a really mean tofu, and I think veganized. I think still probably one of my favorite foods that I wow people with is the broccoli spinach stuffed pizza. Not a stuffed crust, but like the whole pizza stuffed.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
We should do that. You should do that next Wednesday, and I'll eat it. The whole thing on live camera.
Yeah, you should try to see if you could do it. I doubt you could.
The pizza challenge. What? Challenge accepted. I won't eat
I couldn't eat a whole regular pizza with nothing on it when we did an
pizza challenge with
Craig. So just knowing by that, like there's no way I could probably eat maybe 3 or 4 pieces if I really tried of the stuffed one. Because you got 2 crusts on that. You got the cheese, you got the broccoli, you got the spinach, you got the spices.
That's a lot of stuff.
Sauce.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever tried to make vegan steak? Produce wants to know.
Yeah, out of seitan, like seitan chops.
Yeah.
I probably should try to perfect that.
The thing is, like,
you don't really want to make a steak, do you?
Nah, I don't. Like big block of seitan doesn't sound
appetizing. If you could make it not as tough.
Yeah.
Like it's more maybe add in some other. Maybe I'll try it now.
I mean, you can make a cauliflower steak, but that's just cauliflower. Let's call it what it is.
Or fried watermelon.
Hello
from Colorado.
Tara makes a really good. She does something with her seitan that makes it a little bit more tender. Which I believe if you add silken tofu as part of the liquid and chickpea flour, that makes it's not as tough of a glutinous product, and it's has a little bit better mouthfeel to it. Ugh.
Yes, Joseph, I have made vegan calzones many times. Actually, I have a really good picture of one. I made it at Modern Love with Issa when we were going to do our cookbook for Vegan Pizza Shop, which we still might do someday, an all pizza cookbook. And it's all the way back at one of the first photos I've ever put in my phone. Here it is, right? Okay, maybe it's a little bit further down, but okay. I'm showing you guys. I'm showing. So we made a bunch of pizzas that day at Modern Love. Where's my calzone? Here it is, right here. So, there's so many pictures. I don't know what the best one is. But anyways, here it is. Look at that. I made my own ricotta, everything from scratch. That was one good calzone.
Ooh, Aurora says she had barbecue cauliflower at Vegandale. Remember we had those vegan barbecue cauliflower bites at our Tamerlane dinner?
Tamerlane dinner?
The benefit dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the
best ones I've ever had.
Appetizers.
The best ones I've ever had are from Sage in California.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You had them.
Yeah. I can eat the whole thing myself.
I'm gonna. Yeah.
Don't you play. Don't tease me.
I shouldn't show them.
I haven't been to the West Coast in so long.
I wish I could say, Siri, show me
the Sage cauliflower.
It's so good.
It's so good in the way they stack it up. It's crispy and.
Oh, not only that. Oh, there's a picture of you. Guy? That's that farm we were gonna. That's good old John a long time ago.
Long.
Actually, it wasn't that long. It was like maybe
2014.
Yeah. Oh, and there you are with Bobcat.
God.
But this is what I wanted to show. We make a really nice pumpkin pie. Guy. Oh yeah, Candle 79. I really want to go there. I might go there next month. Hopefully I can.
Is that your pumpkin pie?
Yeah.
Somebody asked me about it on Monday, and I talked about it.
Did I make it or did you?
No, you made the one with the.
But you made it though, right? Like it was my recipe, but you made it.
Yeah.
You were the face of the vegan
Yeah,
zombie.
but that was your recipe.
We have so many recipes. Like some of them I like completely forget that we even have. Like I showed somebody today that we had vegan gravy. I'm like, oh my god, we do. Yeah, we do.
I forget too, and I'm like, I have to Google it. I'll be like, oh, I might have a recipe for that.
Chris, do you eat Subway? I used to eat Subway when I first went vegan, but I haven't had Subway now in a long time. I specifically remember when I was younger, 18, 19 years old, getting Subway, bringing it home, putting Vegenaise on it, and then putting like Tofurkey on it. And this was before the vegan cheese days, but then when the vegan Tofutti singles came out, throwing them on there, just so... And sometimes I would grill up the Harvest burgers. Ooh. Those were my favorite burgers, the Harvest burgers. Yeah. They don't sell them anywhere anymore. Nope. They're out, but they were the best. That was back 25 years ago. And they discontinued. But I'm still trying to find... I made a white pizza right here. And we had breaded tofu on top.
Beautiful.
Made that with Issa. Bam. We do have a good enchilada sauce in one of our recipes. I believe that's yours, though.
Yeah.
We did a whole week of different like Mexican food.
Was that when I was living here?
I don't think you were living here. Were you?
I don't remember. I remember we did a burrito bowl when I was living here.
The burrito bowl was really good. I make that sometimes. What am I trying to find? I'm trying to find that Sage. I'm trying to find like the best of the best pictures of the foods that I like. And I'm finding a lot of memories here, man. Remember we were on the plane ride and we met Benzamore, the drummer of George Clinton?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, here's UFC John. I got to show you guys. This is UFC John. This is what John would look like if he was a UFC fighter.
Captain Curvy.
There's one more, too. He'd like... Yo, I'm going for the light heavyweight championship.
Whose hat was that?
Was it Wally's or?
I don't know. Who even knows?
There's Fully Raw Christina.
Happy birthday, Gomez.
Happy birthday.
55 years vegan.
Oh my God. I've done breadsticks, but I don't think we did a video on breadsticks. But I'd scroll back up and I didn't know you guys wanted to see the breadsticks. Wait, did I find them? No, that's not them. That's my own version. Anyway, I'll find them in a minute, but Sage has the best cauliflower bites. If you ever make it out there to Sage, they have 2 locations.
I bet if you Googled it and got an image, it would have been way faster than trying to find the one that you took.
No, because seriously, like, my picture, I think, is better than... I've been there a couple times, and the last picture I took wasn't... Even though I had a better phone, it was when I went with Cesar just earlier this year. It wasn't as good as the first one that I did. See, I tried to redo them right there. Not as good looking, though. That's not the good one. I'll show you the good one. We're almost there. And we also went to Doomy's, and we got like a veganized version of... Remember the first time we went to Doomy's, I couldn't really eat there because I was like raw vegan. And you're like, all right, Chris, whatever you're going to get, I'll just eat yours.
David has a good question. Asking about blood tests. And I had my blood tested last month at the doctor's.
Yeah.
My levels are perfect except for one thing.
What?
Vitamin D.
Oh, well, that's normal up there.
I'm low in vitamin D, so I'm going to take some vitamins, especially going into winter. There's even less sun. But I'm going to up my shiitake intake because shiitakes are a good source of vitamin D.
You're right.
What's that? Give me some of that.
That's vitamin D. These are Herbaland gummies. And they work.
I have one?
Yeah, you can. And I started taking these, and my vitamin D is perfect now.
Oh.
These are gummies, and they're delicious. So you're supposed to only eat 1 or 2. But anyway, that has B12 and vitamin D3 in it.
Wow. They're good. How do you not eat the whole bag?
Yeah, I know. But anyway, my results are in that drawer right there. All my blood tests, and I've been waiting to do a video on it. They're all good, by the way. Everything's good. My cholesterol.
You didn't do a video yet?
I did. I've done several, but like people are so like these anti-vegans will criticize you for anything. Anything. All of my levels are perfect though, so I need to do a video. Anyways, I found it. There they are. Look at those. Those are the buffalo cauliflower bites at Sage.
Wait, let me see.
Nice. They're so good.
Nice.
I've done garlic. I've done anything you can think of from, well, most anything you can think of from a pizza place I've made because I used to work at several pizza places when I was younger. That's actually one of my first few jobs that I ever had. And while I worked at these pizza places, I began to think about like, hey, how can I veganize this or that? And that's why John calls me the pizza person because I've made so many pizzas.
Our friendship was founded on pizza.
Mm-hmm. Pizza rolls.
Our true bonding moment was when we were talking about the fight scene in episode 1, munching down on
episode 1 of
Star Wars. Vegan pepperoni pizza roll. It was so good. That was back in the vegan Rella days, Chris.
Yeah, it was.
That was the only cheese we could have. That didn't taste like cardboard.
But vegan Rella, I feel like, really worked with the pizza rolls. Maybe it didn't work with everything, but the pizza rolls.
The thing is, I feel like with vegan Rella, you had to nail the temperature of the oven because I brought a block of that down to Ithaca when Spiria would practice down there. And this pizza place called Geppetto's, they'd make tofu wings, and if we brought a block of cheese, they'd throw that on there. And it melted perfect. It was just like scary. I was like, did this dude trick us? So I think it's a temperature thing with that because when you'd make them in that pizza roll, it would like steam it and help it melt or something, you know? I don't know.
And it would get all like...
It was perfect.
So for me, like...
Gooey.
Once it was all gooey like that, and then you let it cool down a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little. Perfect.
I remember the first time I ever made mozzarella sticks with vegan Rella.
Joseph, I did make a Thanksgiving pizza. I have a whole video on it, and I think we made one for Noah Craig's family when we did a little morning mukbang with a breakfast pizza. But oh no, that's a breakfast pizza. I did make a Thanksgiving pizza last year though.
What'd you put on it? Do you remember?
Everything from Thanksgiving.
Wait, was it like a after Thanksgiving thing where you had leftover stuff?
Yes.
Good call. Good call.
I'm gonna Google it. No, I'm gonna vegan zombie. Thanksgiving pizza. There it is right there.
Let's watch it.
You really want to watch it? No, I don't want to watch myself.
Okay.
You know how that is.
Yeah, I
totally... Well, we could, but then we got to watch...
So you made it through...
I'm already cringing. I'm going to link it for you guys just so you guys don't have to look for it yourself. Bam, boom. Thanksgiving pizza. Hi, Marina. We need to do a gluten-free. Oh, we got 66 people in the chat right now. All right, so what was I going to say about that?
What were we talking about?
We were talking about Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah.
Have you ever made a dump cake?
A dump cake. Dump in a cup. Dump in a mug.
Why do they call it a dump cake, guys? Like, what's the science behind that one?
I have not made a vegan upside down pineapple cake, probably because it doesn't sound good to me.
Pineapple in a cake doesn't sound good, or
no.
No?
To me, no.
Fruit cakes in general. Yeah. Do you know what I tried to veganize once?
What?
I'm embarrassed because somebody in the thread may know. I tried to veganize angel food cake once.
Didn't work?
No.
It wasn't very angel foody?
No, it was terrible. I tried using aquafaba.
Oh, yeah.
And I only tried it one time. And I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. So I didn't do it again.
Yes, I've made plenty of dessert pizzas. I've never made a fried pizza.
Produce. I think I got a little carried away last week, on Monday.
For what?
I must have mentioned something about how Wilder likes to disappear down in the basement to go to the bathroom.
Oh, she does?
Sometimes. All right, she ran down there, and I said the only reason why she would go down there is to,
take a D.
Take one. Yeah. I feel like there's other stuff.
We've got lots of food stories that we can talk about, especially from traveling. Remember when we did our book tour? We were in Germany. I think no. Which one was it at? It wasn't Frankfurt, was it? Where we first met
Magenbrot.
No, not the Magenbrot. But Katharina introduced us to this candy bar. She's like, this is a chocolate bar. It's called Vigo.
Yep.
Vego. And I'm like, oh, okay, I like chocolate. Let me try a piece. And I was like, oh my God, this is... And then for the rest of my life, it's been my favorite chocolate.
There was also that nougat.
The nougat, yeah.
I really, really liked that because it had like a crunchiness at the bottom. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Germany does it.
They know it.
They do it. And... usually when you find like the best of something in some place, you don't find two of the best of something in the same place. But at that same place, for me at least, when we tried that soft serve ice cream, that's my favorite ice cream I've ever had. Remember they used that like a disc of like a rice milk ice cream.
In Salem?
No.
In Germany?
Germany. And then they put it through that machine, and they go, what do you want in it? We like cookie crumbles in it and stuff like that. And then it goes through this like twist.
Yeah.
And we were like, it was so good.
It was like, no way this is vegan.
Yeah. It was so good. It's all in an entire vegan grocery store. Vegans, which I guess isn't around anymore. Maybe in Berlin there's one. Oh, wait, what was that one? There was a question for Jonathan, even though his name's John. John, have you gotten any of your family to go vegan or vegetarian?
Negative.
From Graven Babies.
Negative, Graven.
Oh my God. Wait, if I could, I don't know where it is. But I just had an idea to like show him the video of like when I put that vegan chicken nugget on that plate. And I told Andy, don't you touch that. And then I left the room, and then he like kind of went by it and smelled it. And then he looked out the hall, and then he went, will he eat it?
Naughty.
I should just put that video of him.
Yeah.
Will my dog eat this?
Will Indy eat this? Watch and see at the end.
Will my dog eat this food when I leave the house?
How long is it? Like a minute?
Yeah. It's not very long.
Oh no, Marina, I hope you feel better.
Oh yeah. Feeling dizzy? Aurora, yeah. Usually gluten-free things fall apart unless they're made secretly when they're not gluten-free. Yeah, I haven't done too many like bready normal things that aren't. I think my entire soup is gluten-free except for I put one ingredient that it's optional. I'm not sure if it's gluten-free because it doesn't say it on it, but the Wizards, I don't know if it's gluten-free.
I don't know either. I'm not sure.
Bye, Marina. Hope you feel better. David says, I'm not a gym goer, but I did 11 pull-ups today. New personal record. Did you see that Dave Asprey on the London Real Show saying that vegans are so incredibly weak that they can't even hold on to a bar? I didn't see that, but I did like 40 pull-ups today.
Nice.
Oh yeah, so what's your favorite restaurant you've been to? Is it Candle 79?
Yeah. Although they're closing.
I know.
At the end of the year. What about you? Son?
I've been to so many that like it's hard to say my favorite one because I have favorites for different reasons, but I think the Sun's definitely up there on like the top 3, but I think Cruciferous, it was only open for 3 months. It sucks because one of my favorite places I've ever been to was only open. It doesn't exist anymore.
Just 3 months, huh?
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. It was right next to Doomie's.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I could eat something and you could eat something.
You could go to Cruciferous. Well, now you can still go. You can go to Doomie's because he's got another restaurant now called Nex Mex. It's a Mexican place. It's super good too. You can go there, and then you can go out that door and go into Doomie's and grab like a burger. And then for dessert, you can go over here and go to Cocobella's Creamery and get ice cream.
It's a good thing I don't live on the West Coast, huh?
Yeah. I saw that Earthly Ned did post yesterday, but I did not watch the video. Is it something I should be watching? Jennifer loves Doomies. Clarence Kennedy is vegan.
Why? We're running out of stuff to talk about. I'm sure there's always something.
No. We're still talking. I was just reading things.
Oh, okay.
We're still talking about food.
Okay. We'll talk about food all.
Okay,
all
so your favorite place to eat. Well, let's break it down like this. Your favorite place on the East Coast to eat is Candle 79, which is only open for another month. I'm gonna try to go there next month, December. I'm gonna try to go to New York City and make it like a couple day thing, and hopefully go there.
That'd be fun.
On the West Coast, what's your favorite?
Man, that's tough. Because I'm not there enough for me to really form a solid opinion. You know?
And you haven't been probably to most of the ones I've been to.
No, because they've all opened up in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
right?
it's booming. We used to go to Expo West together every year when it first started, and you stopped going, 3 years ago?
2015 was the last time I went.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. You really should see if you can go this year.
Well,
I'm going with Craig, so maybe you can join us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I feel like my body's making my life decisions for me right now. So
yeah,
I think I'll be
I get
who knows what I'll be doing. Oh yeah, somebody said there's a YouTuber called Total Heroes that have a video called Vegan Zombie. Did you see that? Let's Google it.
Is that the one? Yeah. Yeah, I do know about this. Yeah, that's not going to be there that long. Yeah, they can't. I probably shouldn't talk about it. I've been talking to Peter about it. It's not gonna stay.
Oh, you know that.
Yeah.
Yes, you told me about that whole situation. Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know why somebody would think that they can just use. What are you doing? Like.
Do you remember there was somebody that was actually on a live that their band name was Rush, and we're like the band, it's like, oh no, we know it's already taken, but all the names are taken, so we're just gonna be this Rush. And we're like, that other band's famous. You can't.
You can't do that. Is Tony Hawk vegan? No, not that I know of.
No, I don't think so.
Unless it's just brand new, because no, he's not vegan.
Which one?
That was Zeke. I think that was Zeke. Don't give him attention, though.
Sorry.
They'll stop, though. They're sleeping right now, which is good. Gomez says, see you guys. Just wanted some vegans to know about my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Gomez. And I hope you have a great year. An entire great year.
The whole year.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And have some yummy vegan food. Tony Hawk was actually like 51 30 years ago. No, 30 years ago he was 21 because he's 51 now. Hear about Fargate? What's that? No, I guess not.
Everybody wants you to try gluten-free recipe, crust recipe.
Crust recipe? I've tried before. I was like, oh, come on. No, I've done gluten-free before, but yeah, I guess I should probably do a crust. You have a pug sleeping on your foot, and she's snoring up a storm. Well, we got two pups sleeping like right behind us right now, and I don't want to startle them because they're being really good right now. Don't let him see you do that. Seriously, because Zeke is no good.
Oh yeah,
especially when we're trying to do a live stream. That's like the one thing. So, I played with him. We played tug of war. I let him out before we came online, and I fed him. And he's got his little chew toy.
Produce says a politician farted on a live news segment.
I did hear that, and it's hilarious.
Oh, I want to watch it.
Was it called? Wait, was it? We should play it here.
Are we allowed to? Will we get grounded by YouTube?
No, because there's no songs and anything. I can actually see both sides. I could see how somebody could put that in at the right time to make it look like he did it, because it really looks like he did it, or he just did it. So it could go either way.
We should do a whole video segment.
Hi, Jackie from Connecticut. Did he do it? Remember when you went up against Gordon Ramsay?
Yes. Stupid. That was a raw cheesecake recipe.
Yeah, it was. All right, David's got a good question. Best vegan products from the 90s that we miss?
Harvest Burgers.
Harvest Burgers, yeah, for me, Harvest Burgers. And you got to remember, back in the 90s, we both were junk food vegans. I didn't care. You call me a junk food vegan, I'd be like, yeah. What are you
proud of it?
I'm proud of it, yeah.
Like me right now. Well, no, I'm trying to go the other way, but.
So, one of the things that were vegan back then that I ate a lot of, I had to preface it by saying I was a junk food vegan. But Keebler Elf soft batch cookies were vegan. They're not anymore. And I used to buy like a whole freaking thing of them and just be like, until I was like sick. But
I remember that. I found out because of you. Dude, Chris Cooney said the soft batch cookies are vegan.
Sure, don't tell people my full name.
Wasn't this channel called Chris Cooney VZ?
Yeah, I changed it, by the way. Did you notice?
No, what's it called now?
Now it's just called Chris Cooney.
No,
I took the VZ out. I'm like, hey, well...
remember the Tofutti ice cream though back then? There was a wild berry supreme, and it was like a vanilla with a gooey swirl. I really liked that.
I love the French vanilla.
But now, the ice creams that are out there's
so many. But I think the Tofutti ice cream is still holds up.
It still stands?
Yeah.
So I like their Tofutti cutie still.
Yep.
And I believe don't they have like something that's like a cone that's got a chocolate crunchy.
Yeah.
That's really good. Truly yours. Yours truly. That's what it is. That's not Tofutti though, is it? Is that so delicious?
No, I think
I have the ability to look it up.
There was a Tofutti Nutty Buddy kind of thing.
Yes.
You got glitter in your nose. What were you doing before you came here? No, I'm just kidding.
I can't think of anything funny. Trying to think of what else in the 90s. The first time I ever had falafel was
Marmaduke says we had lettuce
at your house.
Yeah, what else? We had, remember wheat balls? It was like a seitan meatball kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't ever have those. Oh, actually, man. Were they really good? Or not? Or nah.
To me, they were really. I'm like, God, like it would be one of those nights that you would have like hung out with me, but I'd come home really late at night with my friends skateboarding and stuff, and I'd like sneak in the kitchen, try not to wake my parents up, and I'd put a big pot of water on, and we're making wheat balls at like midnight.
Yeah. What about back in the day? You used to make the best junk food milkshakes, Strong Hearts milkshakes, before Strong Hearts, really.
Yeah, I love my milkshakes, but I would rather have a smoothie now because it's so bad for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, actually, I can make a mean milkshake.
Did I tell you? I mean, I don't want to go off the 90s food because that's kind of fun, but I started drinking a juice instead of coffee in the morning.
Future food?
Oh. So I went with future food. I went with carrots, orange, turmeric, and lemon.
I've done that. I
really
like
good.
it.
Yeah. It was really, so that's 3 days in a row, and then I had a smoothie. I had overnight oats on Monday.
Oh my God, I did too. Boom.
We've never fist bumped before. You guys see that? History. We just made history. Yeah. But Kristen doesn't like bananas. They don't agree with her. They give her an upset stomach. So I've been making just blueberry, strawberry smoothies.
I had a blueberry banana one today.
Nice.
Yeah.
But 90s food. Hydrox.
Yeah, the Hydrox Cookies were basically
Oreos,
but the generic version.
Yeah, the chemicals were actually vegan. Or I guess Oreos are vegan too. Nowadays, I don't know if they were. They weren't back then. I think they had whey or something in them. No way, dude.
No Way has some good chocolate.
Produce wants to know if you regretted that fist bump. Do you have to go wash your hands?
Yeah, sir. Well, it's usually like a fake high five or something.
Yeah. Other than that, man.
I'm trying to think. There's other stuff that we would eat, but
that I miss, though, because everything got better since then.
Well, those chicken nuggets that came out with the, new great taste that they weren't vegan anymore that you ate. I forget the name of them. Something free or something.
Weren't they just called chicken-free nuggets?
Chicken-free nuggets.
Hang on. I'm going to...
Yeah, see if you can Google it. Seriously, Graven Babies, my milkshakes would taste like the Wendy's Frosties.
Man,
from what I remember.
My favorite one is we'd have chocolate milk, chocolate ice cream, mint chocolate cookies. No, it was a mint chocolate ice cream, and then it was like Hydrox. Yeah. And we would throw the cookies in with the ice cream and blend it all. Oh my God, it was so good. That's what we would make at my house when you'd come over.
Yeah. Yeah, produce. The smoothies I make now pretty much taste like the healthy version of milkshakes. So I really have no reason to make a milkshake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Oatly. Oatly's one of the best. Just kidding, it is the best. Chicken-free nuggets. You're right. What's the name of the brand? Let's show.
Health is wealth. Aren't they still a?
Is that the right one?
Yeah, that's the. It's got to be. It's just a newer box.
Yeah. No, I don't think they exist anymore, do they?
I don't know.
You never had peanut butter?
Health is. You're watching Private Investigators. Wait.
Chris, if you made Google money, would you retire off YouTube? I wouldn't. I love doing YouTube. If I became a millionaire, I would just make more videos and do probably more interesting videos.
Yeah, see, you're probably remembering that box.
Yes, that's it. So show them that. So make it bigger.
Okay.
And we'll show them. Oh my god. Screenshot it. Oh, there we go. So these are the chicken nuggets. I don't know if some of you long-term vegans would know what these are, but newer vegans probably never saw these because these disappeared probably, 8 years ago?
This is like
9?
Wegmans has a little cafe that was open 24 hours a day. So
well, even it wasn't, but we would
it
go
wasn't,
there.
but we would go there. Yeah, the cafe had closed, but the microwaves and the toaster ovens were still there. So
we'd buy sandwich stuff.
We would go through Wegmans, buy a bunch of vegan stuff, and then all go into the cafe and cook it, and then we'd all just hang out and like Chris would tell us stories. And we'd all just be laughing until like 4 a.m, and then we'd go home. It was, man, I miss 99. That was...
Freaking young Will got in trouble there because we all did that. But he bought alcohol and popped it open there, and you can't drink that here. And he's like, oh, no.
Idiot.
But we would make everything. Like, I would make ramen noodles because they had that, like, hot coffee water.
Yeah.
And I used to work there. Like, I did security overnight. Oh, we should talk about that.
At Wegmans?
Uh-huh. I worked there back in 1999, 2000.
Before Targ.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. It was right before I moved to Florida to go to school at UF. And I worked there. I was security. I was overnight. And I would just sit there overnight. So what would I do while I'm like bored as heck overnight? I'm sitting in like the police car, like the security car that looked like a police car.
Yeah.
And I would do my homework. So I'm like, I'm getting paid to get good grades, you know? So I do my homework, and I would listen to Coast Art Bell about Y2K and every other conspiracy out there. And, you know, I have some funny stories about it that I could probably tell sometime, but
yeah.
I would go in for, like, you know, break time at, like, 4 a.m, and I'd buy ramen noodles, and I'd go over to, like, that coffee machine and pour hot water on it and seal it up, and I'd go back out to my car and would be all perfectly cooked, and I'd be like, oh, eating my ramen.
Nice.
It was fun.
Yeah, I kind of want that job.
Yeah,
though.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Although
for you.
nowadays I'd probably be busy chasing after people trying to steal stuff.
Because it was so late at night there, and it was the main reason they wanted me there was because they were doing construction on it, so they had a whole construction site where things were open. So I always had to like drive around and stuff. And one of the funniest things that happened because, okay, so you guys got to remember this. So I'm security. Who is the biggest nemesis? Who is the security is the biggest nemesis to who?
Skateboarders.
Yes. So all of a sudden there are these teenage skateboarders in the parking lot. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So I drive over to them. A couple of them take off and start running. A couple of them stand there to like get an attitude with me. And I get out of the car and I'm like, all right, let me see your board. And they're like, you're not taking our board. I'm like, let me see it. And I grab it. And I do a 360 kickflip. And I do all these tricks. And they're like, oh my God, that's awesome. I'm like,
I can't skate here.
I was better than they were. And I'm like, well, you can't. And they're like telling their friends, he's cool, come on down. He's better than us. And I'm like, actually, you can't skate here.
That probably made their night, though.
But listen, this is what they said. They're like, they had a camcorder with them, and they're like, can we get a video of you, like, coming at us with the lights on? I'm like, no, I can't do. Okay, yeah, go over there. And I'm like, woo! And I come up to them, and they're like, awesome. Man, you're the coolest security we ever met. It was funny.
Dude, that must have made their night. Could you imagine being like, great, Rent-A-Cops are here, and this dude gets out, like, let me see your board.
Yeah.
Like, what's he gonna do? Break it?
Yeah.
And you start doing all these crazy things that you skateboarders do. I don't know.
It was funny. No, I did. I did. I caught shoplifters. What what else? I've been in like fights because of it. It was crazy back in the day.
You saw. Wait, no. Brian got beat up in Wegmans parking lot once.
I wasn't there. Yeah,
but I thought you were like the security, but you weren't.
No.
That was just because he was parked.
Yeah.
He wasn't even part of anything.
No.
We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, that makes me mad.
Okay. Sorry.
No, that's alright. That's the one thing that makes me mad, really mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I caught a lot of shoplifters because I also did it at Tops and it was PNC back then, and then Target, and then I stopped doing all of that and I became a special investigator, which I didn't have to catch anybody anymore. But I've got some crazy stories about doing really funny stories too, because I was legit loss prevention, so I would look like this, beard, long hair, beanie, just I did not look like I worked there at all. And they would put me in like the worst stores. And I remember this one time, I was down in the valley. Hey, no, out. And I would get really creative. Like, I would get creative because, this is way back in the day. So like they weren't smartphones; they were the flip phones. But I'm out there, and this lady was shoplifting. She was stealing. The big thing they would do at the grocery store for some reason was they would steal a lot of meat. It's like disgusting anyway. But she took all this stuff and she was putting it in her baby stroller. And she was standing right next to me, and she didn't for a second think that I was security, because I was on the phone making things up. I was not talking to anybody. I'm like, all right, so what am I bringing to the party? All right, so do you want chips? All right, so if I'm bringing the chips, then who's bringing the drinks? And I'm just making stuff up, and she had no clue that I'm not talking to anybody, and she's looking around. She didn't even care about me standing right there, because she's like, he's not anybody. And she's looking, and she's putting it all right in front of me, like as close as you are. Jeez. And then she goes to leave, and I stand in front of her out on the sidewalk, and there's nothing she could do to say I didn't steal anything, because she knows that I just watched her do it. So,
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel when you have to catch somebody? Do you get nervous?
Well, yeah, you always get nervous, because back in the day it was different than, like, I think they've changed a lot of things now, like what you can and what you can't do with shoplifters. But I was always like really smart with what I would do, whereas other people would just try to like fight people, because they would get physical sometimes. Like, there's people that like they had to call an ambulance because one guy turned something into, sliced my arm right up to like the side of like the brick wall of Target, and I was all bleeding and stuff. And he ended up getting away because he dove headfirst into his getaway car, and I grabbed onto his legs, and so did some other just a pedestrian helped grab him too, and they started driving away, and we were holding onto his legs, but we had to let go.
Oh my god!
I mean, these people were like known shoplifters, like big time shoplifters and stuff, and usually everything was like pretty peaceful. But I was a little bit. I would use a little bit of like common sense and de-escalation skills to apprehend people, whereas other people would just like, if they didn't do what they said, they'd start fighting them right away. So I would stop somebody, and you got to make sure, because these people we didn't have any kind of like weapons, but yeah. People have pulled weapons on people, all kinds of crazy stuff. So you stop them, you're like, I'm security, you need to come back in with me. And then you see it in their eyes, they're about ready to fight you. And I'm like, don't turn a misdemeanor into a felony. And then I'm like, let's just get this over with. Let's come back in there. We go in there. But
that's real good. That's a
I ended up, okay, so are you guys, should I change the subject, or do you guys want to hear about this?
I do. Okay. I forgot.
I want to know what they want to hear about.
I know,
because
you're right.
I've got a lot of stories about this that are pretty crazy. I could go on forever, but like I'll just tell you like some of the best, some of the craziest. Oh, and then I'll tell you the scariest thing that happened when I was an investigator. Okay. Because that's kind of crazy too.
See, Linda wants more.
Okay, more. I like this. Okay, so we're gonna go on. If you don't like this, then maybe you can come back to another time. But this is fun. Okay,
yeah,
so
go.
Okay, so I guess this is my most proud thing that I did. Well, not it's kind of weird, but so there was this guy that worked there at Target. His name was Joe, and he was older. He was like in his 60s, and he was really skinny and really, really short, like short little guy. And he would like, at first when I started working there, I'd always go to talk to him, and he just seemed like a nice dude. And I'm like, hey, hey, Joe. And like I started talking to him one day, and I was kind of stupid because at one point, like I let him in my office, and you can see all the cameras, and he's talking to me and stuff. And he told me that I think I asked him a question. I go, are you a fighter? Because his ears were all cauliflowered. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm not a fighter. What do you mean? I'm like, oh, I was just wondering because your ears are all cauliflowered. And he's like, oh. Yeah, I used to box. I was in the military for 15 years. I'm like, oh, nice. I'm like, Joe's like ex-military. He's like a veteran. And, so I'd see him like, I worked with him for a few years before I realized that, because he'd work over in the electronics area, that in my reports, there was a shortage over in electronics. So it was in my job not only to catch shoplifters that came in, but also internal investigations. So, I'm watching cameras, and I'm like, I have, because there's about 8 people that worked in that area at different days, different times, and I'm like, so the majority of my day for the next couple of weeks were just having snacks in front of me, watching the cameras, like, okay, what's going on in electronics? And all of a sudden, I see him open the register and grab some money and put it in his pocket. I'm like, Joe, no, man, I like you, man, I like you. So I wait for him to do more things, and they legit teach you how to interrogate people. Like, it's like FBI training. So I was trained on all this, like different interrogation techniques and stuff. So I knew how to like, introduce it and try to, because he technically didn't have to talk to me.
Yeah. So
when I had enough evidence, I like made it look like I had more evidence than I did. I took a bunch of VCR tapes, because that's what we used back then. It was not all digital. So I had a bunch of VCR tapes with his name on it, when in fact I only had one tape of him doing anything. I had a bunch of things on it. I had a folder with his name on it. I'm like, Joe, you need to. It hurt me to do this because like I was like so good with him all these years, and I brought him back to my office. Actually, not to my office, to one of the store manager's office. And so when this happens, I need a witness in the room, and everybody else knows that I do it. And in the meantime, I have to call the police. So I'm waiting. This whole time I'm trying to get him to confess. The police are also on their way. So I bring these tapes in there. I'm like, Joe, tell me about what's been going on and stuff. And I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I got all these tapes of you taking money. Tell me when it started and how much you took. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, he's like, can I go now? I'm like, Joe, you can go anytime you want, but that probably won't be the best thing for you to do. He's like, all right. And so then I leave the room. I'm like, dude, are the police here yet? Because if they don't come in a certain amount of time, I gotta let them go.
Yeah.
You can't. And that's happened to me once where they just didn't come, and I couldn't keep the kid any longer. I'm like, you know what, dude? It's your lucky day. You can go. But anyways, back to Joe. So Joe ends up. The cops come, and so the officer, she starts talking to him and brings him into my office, where there's like so our policy is, if he is being arrested, he needs to leave in handcuffs. It's like a rule, and it's a deterrent, so nobody else at the store thinks it's okay to steal from the store. So he's supposed to be arrested and handcuffed and left. So she's talking to him. She goes, all right, Joe, have you been in trouble with the law before? Have you been arrested? And he goes, a long time ago. She's like, okay, no problem. And he's like, and so I'm like wondering, like, what did he do a long time ago and how long ago was it? But she never asked any more questions. And then, long story short, she's like, okay. I'm like, no, you need to. She's like, okay, we're gonna just, you have an appearance ticket and we're gonna release you. I'm like, no, you need to at least leave the premise of the store with him in handcuffs. And she's like, all right, Joe, turn around. I'm like, sorry, Joe, but he had to get handcuffed. So she handcuffed him in the front, not the back. And when she walked out with him, she walked way ahead of him, so it didn't even look like he kind of hid the fact that he was being arrested. And then she walked out way ahead of him, and then he kind of just walked out on his own, and then she undid it and left. Okay, so you think like, okay, so, that's what he did. I'm like, okay, I kind of felt bad, but then one of the girls that worked there, she was like a teenager, like one of her first jobs. She comes over and she knocks on my door. She's like, hey, can I talk to you? And I'm like, sure. She's like, I need to tell you something. I'm like, okay. She goes, Joe that you just arrested, I looked him up because my dad is a state trooper. And here's the website, look him up. So I'm like, convicted pedophile. He was not in the military for 13 years. He was in prison. And that's where he got the cauliflower ear, because he was some little guy that probably got beat up in prison all the time because he was a pedophile.
Oh, man.
And I'm not going to go into details about that, but that's... And then years later, I went into Best Buy. And who did I see? I saw him. And I went over to the manager. I'm like, are you the manager here? And I'm like, I just want you to know that I used to do loss prevention at Target, and the guy over there, he was arrested for stealing, and he's also a convicted pedophile. So, see you later. And I left. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's...
Holy cow.
Yeah. So, there was... Okay, so before I worked at Target, I worked at Tops, and they were way more lenient on what you could do here. Like, I mean... It was crazy. There was actually rules at Target what we could and couldn't do. There was like nothing back then, and it was like a long time ago, like 20 years ago. And anyways, I was at the PNC up near Camillus, kind of where Caleb used to live. And I'm in there, and it kind of sucked because they didn't have a good camera system, so I basically had to walk around the store all day long.
Trying to catch somebody.
Yeah, trying to catch somebody.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I see this kid walk in, and he's got like a skateboard with him. And so I watch him, and like I'm like on the end cap, like looking down, and I'm like all hunched down. Like, so anybody walking by me are probably like, "What the hell is this dude doing?" And I'm like down there, and I'm looking at this kid, and I don't know why he's doing this, but he grabs a box of tea, and he's looking at it, and he's looking around. I'm like, "This kid's gonna steal. Why is he stealing tea? What's he gonna do with tea?" And then he puts it down by his like cargo pants. And he's like trying to see if it would fit in his pocket. And then he's looking around. I'm like, I'm waiting here for like, my legs were all cramping up. I'm like, if you're going to steal it, just steal it or just go. So anyways, he steals it. He puts it in his pocket and he walks out of the store. And I'm right behind him. And as he walks out of the store, and I know it's something stupid like just tea. So I'm just like, basically, I just got to stop him and tell him to come inside and call his parents pretty much. So he walks out of the store. And I walk in front of him, and I'm like, hey, I'm security. You need to come back inside with me. And he looks at me and goes, and what just happened in front of me, I'm like, this is not happening, but it's happening. He like pissed himself all down his leg. He just stood there in fright and just pissed all over the place. Oh my God. And I'm like, he's like, I'm like, whoa, yeah, you did. Come on, let's go inside. So we go inside, and I'm like, dude, basically just called his parents and stuff, and you can't be stealing.
And he never stole again.
I don't know.
Or left his house.
Oh, man. Aurora, I just watched a thing today where they talk about the real Lost Boys from Seattle. Based on, like, the Lost Boys. Like,
I don't know anything about it.
It was crazy watching it, but anyways. Am I still talking? These people still want to hear more of these stories? Are we good?
I'm like a 19-year-old John again, listening to all your stories. I'm like, what happened next? Who else did you catch?
I got in a fight with one guy. He was a legit crackhead, and I was at the Fayetteville PNC late at night. It was like 11 or 12, and he went in with he was stealing a bunch of meat, and he had a big basket full of it, and then he went into an aisle, and then he came back out with nothing. So, I'm like very precise. Like, like I got to know for certain if somebody stole it or not, or else I can't do anything. And like 99.9% sure that he stole it. But there's that 1% chance that maybe he didn't. So he walks out of the store, and there's like a bus stop there. So I walk out with him, and I'm standing right next to him, and I'm just looking at him, but I don't say that I'm security. I don't say anything. And I'm like, how's it going? And he's like, not bad. What's up? And I'm like, nothing. No, nothing. And he's just looking all weird at me, like all nervous and stuff. And I'm like, I was just wondering, where'd you put that meat that you just had? He goes, I left it in that aisle back there. I'm like, oh, oh, okay, can you come show me where it was? He's like, yeah, sure. Boom, he starts running as fast as he can through the parking lot. So I'm like running as fast as I can. I'm like, security. And I try, he's running really fast and I'm running really fast and I'm not able to really catch him. So I tried to hit his leg into the cart carrier so he would smash into that, but he didn't. So now we're at the end of the parking lot. Okay, so when I worked at Target, you're not allowed to do this. PNC, they never told us we couldn't. So I'm alone. Now it's really dark. There's no street
4 miles away from the store.
I'm in the dark. He turns around and starts fighting me. I'm fighting this guy. We're both out of breath, but I think the fact that I'm a little bit more in shape and he's a crackhead,
you had the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I'm not saying he's a crackhead to make fun of him. He was a crackhead. The cops confirmed it later on.
Yeah.
He starts fighting me, and we're fighting each other. And I'm trying to put him in an arm lock, but we're both pretty much out of breath, and we're fighting. And then this truck drives by with this kid. He's looking at it, and I'm like, I'm security. Call the police for me. And he's like, all right. And this dude's trying as hard as he can to get away from me. And I finally win. And I put handcuffs on him, and we go back in the store, and he gets arrested. And he was a known shoplifter and crackhead. And the cops came and basically took him away.
Now, can I ask you, was there at any point during that whole thing where you're like, is this really worth it?
No. Okay. I was really young. I was in my 20s.
Okay.
But I was thinking what if he pulls out a gun or a knife or some kind of shank or anything and tries to, then what? So basically I wasn't letting him get his hands down anywhere. Before that I worked at Kaufman's before it was bought out by Macy's. And the first stop, do I just want to hear one more story? This was really funny. So I was hired there by my manager was this big, stocky, ex-Marine. Nice dude. He gave me a chance. I'm just this skinny, right out of college. I think I was still in college. I was going to school for criminal justice, and I needed a job in the field. And he's like, I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to let you work here. And we're working at the mall. This has the worst theft ever, So he's teaching me the ropes and everything. And we catch this kid. This kid is stealing. We catch him, and he's a teenager. And so we grab him, and then he starts going in his pockets, and my boss is trying to prevent him from going in his pockets. And he's trying hard, and I don't know why I'm why are we doing this? What's he doing? So finally my boss grabs under his nose and pulls up like this, and he's finally okay. Puts handcuffs on him. We bring him into our office, and my boss pulls out a knife and mace. So he was getting ready to stab or mace us. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And so as this kid's sitting down, my boss is yelling at him. And this is back in 1998, 97, 98. And my boss is yelling at him, what are you doing? This is stupid. Now you're going to get arrested, blah, blah, blah. And this kid's man, fighting with us pretty much. And now he's handcuffed in the seat. And as this is happening, I'm like, Les, look. And we're looking at the cameras, somebody else is stealing. Unless he comes over and he's so this kid's sitting here in handcuffs, and we're watching somebody else starting to steal. And he's looking at the handcuffs and everything. I'm like, he's got this. And as we're looking at this happen, the kid's oh man, he's gonna steal. You guys gotta get him.
The guy that was cuffed.
We're looking at him. We're wait a minute, you just stole from us. And he's you guys gotta get him. He's gonna do this. And he's helping us catch shoplifters now. It was really funny. It was quite funny. And then, so the first night,
I feel that's something from a movie.
Yeah, it was funny like that. But the first night that I was on my own, where I didn't have any backup, it was just me in the mall. I'm oh my god, what am I gonna catch? Is it gonna be bad? Is it gonna be a fighter? What am I gonna do? Is anybody gonna help me if I'm getting in a fight? And all of a sudden, this 11-year-old kid comes in, and he steals a sweater, and he goes out of the mall into the bathroom, out of the store into the mall into a bathroom, and I follow him in there. I don't follow him into the stall or anything. I just walk in after he's coming out, and I find the tags in the bag, and I catch up to him, and I'm hey man, security. He's what? I'm the sweater. It was a $70 Ralph Lauren or something, and that was my first catch. Was 11-year-old kid. Anyway. Well, yeah. There's so many thieves when you want to hear a really kind of a funny but sick one. Okay.
I always do.
So this group of
there's 82 people in here, so they like it.
Okay,
they like the stories.
This is crazy. So there's all kinds of methods and tactics for people to steal if they're doing it in groups and stuff. Well, this lady came in and then she popped a deuce right on the floor, right in the middle of the floor. She took a crap. Now everybody's like, what is going on over here? All the attention's over here. Meanwhile, back at the store over here, people are stealing thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
So they were a team.
Yeah, it's a team. Groups of people would do
Imagine being the one that draw the short end of the stick.
Well, I
looks like you're pooping in the middle of the store.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Can't I steal the DVD player?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some better ones that aren't that gross. But, okay, the scariest thing that happened to me. Do you want to hear it? I don't know if I should tell it. It's off.
Tell it.
I'm a special investigator. Now, being a special investigator, yes, I had a badge. I had a federal badge. But what people think that I didn't have, I did not have any weapons. So I did not carry a gun. I could not carry mace or a knife or anything. I just had a badge.
These hands.
And now the only thing that I was ever worried about when I would go places was like, I hope I don't get attacked by somebody's dogs because I'm going up to random people's houses and knocking on the door. Like, yeah, I used to work at like bigger places like the Pentagon and stuff like that. Obviously, that wasn't scary. But another part of my job was doing residential checks for like character witnesses and stuff like that. So I would go to neighbors of whoever I'm doing the investigation on, and I had to drive way out in the middle of nowhere. I was out in like Elmira, New York. And I had to go to a residential. It's in the middle of the summer. I wear a suit and tie, investigator, and I had to go to a residential of this house. So I'm driving up this dirt road and I see where the house is and I'm like, oh, wow, this is the house. I can't even see the house, by the way, because the driveway is so far up in the woods, you couldn't see the house. But that's the house that I needed to do character references for. So that meant that I had to go to several neighbors. But the thing is there were no neighbors. The closest neighbor was about a half a mile down the road. And because I drove like 2.5 hours to get out there, I needed to at least go to one house. And I'm like, oh, I hate doing this. So the first house I come to, I pull in the driveway. It's a dirt driveway. It's kind of like a raised trailer. It basically reminded me of something from Silence of the Lambs. And only I don't have a gun like Jodie Foster did. And I had to go up to the door, knock on the door, and talk to whoever was there to see if they knew their neighbor, okay? So it's a hot summer day. The grass was about this tall. About as tall as it was where we went to the train tracks.
Okay.
So I go up to the door, and I knock on the door. Ding, 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 ding. This little chihuahua starts barking at me. Nobody answers the door, so I knock one more time. And the reason for this is because I drove 2.5 hours. I needed to at least say nobody was here because I didn't want to have to come back out there because they would make us do that.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Nobody's answering the door. So at this point, I need to leave a callback slip. So I have these government things where I'm like, this is my name, investigator, blah, 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 callback slip, put it on the door. Hopefully they call me before I leave the area and I can come back, or maybe we do it over the phone. But it's not, they don't want us to do it over the phone. So I'm right in this corridor, and all of a sudden the door opens, and I look up, and there's this really big, tall dude, hair everywhere, his eyes like that, just looking at me like this. He's wearing absolutely nothing but tighty whities. And I'm like, and he starts to open the door, so I kind of back up, and I pull out my badge, and I'm like, I'm a special investigator, blah, 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 I give him my speech. And he grabs my badge and he starts looking at it. And then he turns around and he's like, come on in. And I'm like, no, I can't leave my badge. I can't let my badge out of my sight. Meaning, even if a cop took my badge, I'm not allowed federally to have them leave my sight. You can't make photocopies of it. Like I had to yell at like somebody in a doctor's office once because they're like, let me make a copy of it. I'm like, no, you can't do that. Because that's the federal rules. Yeah. So he takes my badge and walks in his house. I'm like, no, I don't want to go in your house. And so I walk in the house, and it's really dark in here, okay?
I feel like we should make this into a movie.
This was the scariest I've ever... Like, he closed the door, and then he stood in front of the door and me. Now, he's about a foot taller than me. He's a big dude. Now I'm thinking to myself... Okay, I have to fight for my life now. I'm going to have to fight for my life or I'm dead, okay? I said, I'm doing an investigation on your neighbor, so-and-so. Do you know him? No. Okay, that's all I need to know. Have a great day. I need to go. Please let me open the door. Don't put me in a chokehold. And then he stunned me. No, just kidding. So I open the door. I walk out to my car. And at this point, normally what I do, and every other investigation, is I get in my car, especially when I'm 2 hours from home, and I look at my notes and I figure out where I have to go next, and I put in my GPS, and then I leave. Nope. I get in my car, I put it in reverse, and I go down the hill. And then for some reason, I started Googling stuff, and sure enough, it's a very small area, and I kind of had, I don't know why you have that look. That's probably bad to say that somebody has that look. But I Googled sex offenders in that area, and he came up. He was the first one to come up in that area, and he was in prison. He was a new release from the Elmira prison, and I guess it said his job, he's like a janitor there, but he was in prison again for being a pedophile, like 13 years.
Do you have some sort of magnet for like these people? What is happening?
I don't know, but that, like, knowing what I knew after the fact, I'm like, wow, that was a bad situation.
Yeah.
There was one other bad situation, but it was kind of funny and kind of maybe scary. But yeah, I never liked going in people's houses, and no matter how kind or whatever they would seem, if it was like a nice old lady or anybody, I would always politely refuse any food or drink, because you never know. Like, I'm like, you never know. Like, I could be in a serial killer's house, you know? So, yeah, that was the scariest thing that I encountered, because, I mean, that's pretty scary.
That is scary. I'm scared right now thinking about it. I'm surprised you're here with
You guys
us.
want another one? I could go on forever with these things. I've interviewed some crazy... there was one other one I was going to...
You said it was funny but scary.
Well...
Fairy.
Okay, so I went to somebody's house. It was another residential thing. Well, there was one... Okay, so this is a different one, but I was out in Buffalo, and... I was just like in a bad neighborhood, and I had to stop, and I had to do an interview of a neighbor of the lady that lived next to him. Now, she was like, I think she was a judge, if I remember right. And by the way, I'm not giving away any details. You know, all the stuff that I do was confidential, but me telling like a general story of what it was is in no way giving away personal information. So, you know, I'm not breaching anything when I'm saying this. But anyways, I think she was like a judge. And so I get out of the car, and the guy was in his driveway, and he sees me. And I start walking up. I'm wearing a suit and a tie. It's winter out. I start walking up, and he starts yelling at me, like, what do you want? Get out of here. I don't know what you want, but get off my property. And I'm like, sir, I'm a federal investigator, special investigator. I'm doing an investigation. He did not want to hear it. As soon as he heard why I was with the government or investigator or police or anything, he's like, he wanted me. He was getting very, like, yelling at me. He starts walking up to me. I go, sir, I'm doing an investigation. I'm doing a background investigation for your neighbor. And I said her name. And he goes, oh, yeah, she's a sweet old lady. And he starts talking to me, and I'm like, oh, man. And then for the rest of that conversation, he goes, it's for her? Yeah, okay, yeah. And he finished the whole thing.
Gosh.
But at first, you know,
yeah.
And that's how a lot of people are. Like, I had to go to, like, people's houses, and I remember this one time, I knock on the person's door, and the door was open. It was a summer day, so it was just like, you know, the screen door was closed. I knock on the door to, you know, say, hey, I need to ask you, you know, a few questions on your neighbor. And the guy comes up to the door with a big smile on his face. And I go, hi, sir. And he slams the door right in my face. And he goes, we don't want any. He thought I was a salesman. He goes, I don't want any. Get out of here. And I'm like, that kind of made me mad, because so I
kicked this door down.
Kicked this door in. I came in. No. So I wrote a callback slip, and I put it on the door, and I left. And I'm about 5 minutes down the street, and I get a phone call. Hey, man, I'm the one that just yelled at you. Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can come back. You know, I'll do the interview. I thought you were selling something. I'm like, you dick. But
you know, when somebody answers the door, or when I answer the door and somebody's trying to sell me stuff, I'm like, do you hear these dogs back here? I don't have time for this. I don't care what you're trying to sell me.
I had, just a few months ago, I had a girl knock on my door about environmentally friendly things that she wanted me to sign. And she was was telling me the biggest contributors to climate change and global warming and all this stuff, and I let her say everything she needed to say. She's like, this is what we need to do, and blah 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, you didn't say one thing that was right. And and as soon as she was done talking, I go, are you vegan? And she goes, no. I'm like, well, animal agriculture is the leading cause, blah, 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 blah. And I just educated her. We talked for a while, and I talked to her. She goes, oh, yeah, I really should do that,
Do you think you reached her?
Hopefully,
Well, I mean, maybe if she was passionate about what she was trying to talk to you about, and then she's like, oh, thank you, but I love bacon.
I hate that. So the other day, my thermostat wasn't working again, and I just got a new, last year, so I barely have ever used it. And something happened to it like a few months ago, and they came and changed it. So I called them up, and they're like, yeah, we'll get somebody out there, blah, blah, blah. So they come out here, and he's looking at the thermostat, and what I have hanging there that I've had hanging for years are the badge that we get at Expo West. And it says my name on it, and it says the Vegan Zombie. And he looks up at it, he goes, the Vegan Zombie, and I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, yeah, that's my YouTube channel. He goes, my cousin loves you. And I'm like, so the dude knew who I was. I'm like, well, this is awkward.
Oh, I was at Strong Hearts the other day. That reminds me. And somebody came up to me and they said, are you friends with the Vegan Zombie? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of into the Vegan Zombie.
Yeah, I'm friends. I don't know. Well, if somebody asked that, I just,
But she knew?
Yeah, she's like, she had a really good topic she wanted us to talk
Kristen.
about.
Your wife.
Hi, honey. She wanted us to talk about being vegan in a relationship with a non-vegan, and we've covered it a couple of times. Yeah. But
you take that non-vegan in,
because she was just telling me that her ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband was not vegetarian, and she got into it with her in-laws about it.
That seems to always be the case.
Yeah. Yep.
It's never like the dude and his wife's not vegan.
Yeah.
It's usually the other way around.
Yep. That's true. That is very true.
I don't know. Maybe we could do a whole live stream where I just tell you guys funny stories that happened in this.
Yeah, what you should do is just have a checklist. But people were asking questions like, when you cut your arm,
yeah,
what was the policy after that? What was the protocol?
Well, the policy was,
did that guy get away? Like he got away scot-free?
The reason
Should we try to find him?
So I was fine. I mean, I had to get like a bandage or whatever. But when the cops came, they wanted to press charges on this guy. So they're like, well, if you call for an ambulance, then it's, that was robbery because he violently fought you. If he just stole, that would have been just larceny. But he turned it into, something like that. And normally, don't get me wrong, I don't know what the reason is for why people steal, but I gave a lot of people, like, big second chances that I probably shouldn't have. Like, a lot of people. And I'm like, I felt like maybe if I could talk to them and be like, let this be your lesson, where I could have just, like, send all of them away with the cops, Like, for instance, this one kid, I'm like, dude, I'm going to give you a chance. You're going to go. And, like, oh, man. I don't know if I should say the other one. I really gave this 18-year-old kid a real big chance when I was an investigator because you're not supposed to you're not supposed to lie to an investigator. I just slipped. Okay. Well, this isn't a part of the COPPA.
Now we know.
It's not part of the COPPA. This can't be a kid video. But he was lying to me, and I caught him in a lie, and I'm like, dude, you're 18. I don't want this to affect your career or anything like this. We're gonna start all over, and the worst thing you can do is lie. It really is. When you're trying to get a security clearance, the worst thing you can do is lie. They would rather have you talk about and explain something bad you did than lie about it because they don't want to give somebody a security clearance that is not trustworthy.
Yeah.
So I've interviewed people that did all kinds of crazy things. You can't lie about things. And when you do lie about things, I need to write it up like that. I mean, the person lied to me, Anyway, I'm like, look, we're going to start over. You need to be very truthful. Everything I ask you, you need to be truthful. If you want this career, if you want this job, if you want this clearance. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm like, okay. Seemed like a nice kid. His parents seemed like nice people. And, and you can't judge a book by the cover because when I would get these investigations, I have everything in front of me. I have everywhere they've ever lived. I have every job they've ever had. I have I have their credit. I have their medical thing. Like, the HIPAA laws don't apply here because they sign waivers to go in. It doesn't matter what. Like, I can find everything out about this person, and if they lie about something, then that's grounds for not getting the clearance. You need to be forthcoming with every little thing. And there was this one kid that was like 18, 19, and he was going into the military, and I had to do his investigation. And on paper, he looked like a bad kid. He looked like he didn't have his together, and his credit was all over the place. And I met with him, and when I was done with that investigation, I felt so bad for that kid. His mom stole his name and put all this credit in his name and basically screwed him over in his entire credit, put up all this credit, like tons of money on this poor kid's name that he had nothing to do with, and ruined his entire credit. Like, bad.
Gosh,
and I felt
sad.
so bad for the kid, John's face looks leaner. Well, he did shave. You shaved.
I did. Get mighty itchy on the old face.
Yes, larceny is theft, and there's larceny and grand larceny. So anything under anything under $1,000 is larceny, and grand larceny is anything over, and that's a felony. So
have you ever caught anybody with?
Yeah. Felonies. The worst one we ever got, and the cops really... Okay, so technically, we are only... at Target, we're only allowed, even if it's a group of people, I'm only allowed to stop the person that steals and walks out that door. Anybody else, can't touch them. Even if they were the ones that grabbed it and gave it to the person, you can only stop them if they are the ones that
if they physically leave with the item.
This lady went in there with their 2 little 5 or 6 year old kids and loaded them up, and technically we were not allowed to do anything to her. We were only allowed to stop the kids. So we stopped the kids, we brought them back in, we called the police, obviously not on the kids, but on her, and she got charged with all kinds of endangering welfare. Like, they were like, I've never seen something so low. Obviously nothing, the kids were not charged with anything. But like,
oh my gosh,
that was like,
that's gonna scar those kids.
Yeah, like you can't do that.
Oh,
this is loss prevention.
That was
night
a
with
sad
Chris.
one. This is fun though. Like, this brings me back to like
I've done the worst thing you can do.
Pre-vegan zombie days.
The worst thing you can do is a bad stop, and I've done it. I did it once. I did a bad stop, and it was like one of my first jobs. It's bad. You just gotta like go. I'm just gonna walk away.
A bad stop, like I
stopped somebody that didn't steal. Yeah, that's bad. But also, like, I know, like, it's funny because like I can see loss prevention people. I can pick them out of like any store. Like nowadays, like if I go in the store. And I saw somebody following me in Target once. So, like, I went around the corner because 2 people were following me down an aisle. And I went around the corner. And then I immediately turned around and came back. And they were running. And then they both stopped. And I'm like, oh, what were you guys doing? But, yeah, it's funny. What are other funny stories?
What about the...
What?
I don't know if this is a good one, but the shopping cart that was caught on security camera with one of the employees of a place.
Oh my god, oh my god.
I don't know, like, I've never seen the video, but the way you tell the story always makes me laugh. I don't know if that's
that would be a viral video that I never posted.
Yeah. You have that footage somewhere, don't you?
Yeah. Oh my god. What else did I we I don't know. That was back in the day, like so many story. And it, I had fun because I got to like walk around the store and watch cameras and install cameras, and that was fun,
That was fun.
Yeah. I'm like, my job is like I dress however I want, but then they change things up. They're like, all right, you need to dress. I became an executive, okay? So I was like a manager of the store, and they wanted me to dress in red and khaki. I'm like, how am I going to be able to catch shoplifters if I'm in red and khaki? If I'm out trying to catch a shoplifter and somebody's like, hey, can you show me where this CD is? I'm like, yeah, because back in the day we had CDs. I'm like, hold on a second, yeah. But yeah, I had to be a manager of the store, and I hated it. I'm like, I didn't get this job to be like a manager of the store side. I became for like, I wanted to do, this is what I wanted to do. Yeah.
What did you ever catch people like picking their nose and stuff?
Oh my God, the funniest thing. Okay, guys, this is funny. So the big camera that that I'm always watching is obviously in electronics, but the electronics camera is like right above like where the DVDs are and the PlayStations and everything, and you could move the camera around like this. So I would have it like right in the hallway where you would see like the end cap for like the PlayStations, the DVDs, but you could also see on the other side of that aisle from way up at the top, and the other aisle was just something like silverware. And this person walks over to the silverware and opens up the silverware and is really looking at it, looking at the spoon like, is this a nice spoon? Like really looking at it. And then goes like this. And I'm like, what the heck? And then puts it back on the shelf. And I'm like, and then they walk away. So I went out there and of course I took it off the shelf and I'm like, like clearance this out because they licked it. But like, why would you try? Like, I've seen people try things like, try on these goggles or glasses or try on a hat or shoes, but never a spoon. But yeah, you'd be surprised at the things that I've seen on these things. I've seen worse,
Yeah.
I've seen right in the middle of the sale floor. I've seen a girl take off her hoodie. She had nothing on over it just to try on a bra. I'm like, what is going on here? In the middle of like not in the fitting rooms, like right on the sale floor.
Oh no!
I'm like, if there was a little kid around or anybody, like.
Well, I mean, nowadays.
I'm trying to think what is the craziest things Chris has seen, and then of course like like it's kind of because you don't see everything, but you have like for instance the most expensive thing in the store was usually the Dyson vacuum cleaners. Oh, now they want to see the shopping cart footage. I can't. It's been like, it was 2006. That's over 10 years. That's almost 15 years ago. And I never posted it for a reason. I can't. It would be viral, but I don't know if I would get in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, so, what was I just saying? What was the story I was just telling you? Oh, the Dyson vacuum cleaners.
Yeah.
So the cameras would show, like I would come into work and I'd see like, oh, there's a Dyson missing, and like I'd look up in the computer system. We didn't sell it, but it's gone. So then I would rewind the tapes until it was there, and then I would fast forward until somebody goes there, and then a guy would come over and he puts it into his cart, and he puts two of them in his cart, and then he just walks out of the store. They're busy, and you gotta be pretty gutsy because the exit doors are right
by the registers.
By all of the registers. And he just, nonchalantly just walks on by like that's what he's supposed to be doing and just walks on by right outside the door. And that would happen often, So, yeah. And then other people would do like creative things like they would take like a box of, well, I'll just say for example, because this is what they did it with, like it was a box of Pampers, and they would open it up and get rid of all the Pampers and fill it all up with CDs and games, and then pay for that and then leave.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, but the cashiers were supposed to be trained to like look at that kind of stuff, like the weight of it, or is there anything in the bins when you pull them out, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And before, I had a kind of a fun job before that too, because I was loss prevention. When I was loss prevention at Wegmans, I don't know if you remember this, but this is way back in the day. Wegmans used to own a company, like a lumber company called Chase Picton,
Yeah.
So I was security over there too. As soon as they didn't need me anymore for the Wegmans part, they wanted me to do Chase Picton. So what they wanted me to do was the guy wanted me to go in my civilian clothes to just each and every one, and he'd have a list of everything he wanted me to try to shoplift, and he wanted me to shoplift and try to walk out with as much stuff as I could for free. And it was a test to see if the cashiers were trained on the stuff. So that was my job, and like then I would like.
That's fun.
Yeah, so I'd go in and I tried to shoplift all this stuff, and I got away with it all. And
did you really?
But the funny thing is, this makes it even funnier because the manager of the store knew who I was. So when I came in, he walked up to me. He's like, "Oh my God, I know what you're here for." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. You can't tell anyone." He's like, "I know. I hope we pass. I hope we pass." I'm like, "Yep. Well, I'm gonna go steal from you now." So I load up everything and I walk out. And he's like, "Did we pass?" I'm like, "Nope, not even." He's like, "Oh man." He was so mad, but there's nothing he could do. I'm like, dude, that's my job. Yeah. I mean, it didn't pay too well, but that's what I did for a little bit.
Did you get to keep the stuff that you walked out with? That's part of your pay.
Listen to this. Normally I wasn't, but the last time I did it, I called him. I'm like, hey, I have a trunk full of stuff that I got from you. When do you want? He goes, just keep it for now, and I'll get a hold of you. And then he ended up leaving the company, and like. Put it in my dad's garage. I think it's still there. It was, I don't know.
We should sell it.
I don't even remember what it was. I think it was like some wiring and stuff that you don't even use anymore these days because everything's like wireless.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, this is, I'm sorry if I've missed probably a ton of, Jane's Addiction, been caught stealing. Once, when I was 5, I enjoy stealing. That's a song I don't enjoy stealing.
When you want something and I don't want to pay for it.
Oh, walk right.
That's a good 90s song.
Through the door. Yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't answer a lot of the questions because I've been blabbering to 82 people.
Race blames me. I saw it. I just ignored it.
Oh, man. I did miss everything. Oh, man. Yeah, Dysons are a lot of money. And in my experience, the Shark works a lot better. And it's only
now we're a vacuum cleaner salesperson?
Yeah.
The both of us?
Yeah, and you need a vacuum cleaner when you have 2 German Shepherds because they don't shed.
Oh, yeah.
They're like the most.
You know what I do? I just let all the hair flow around the house like it's a part of it,
I have made vegan mac and cheese pizza, yes. I don't know. I mean, I have a ton. I even have videos on a lot of the stuff too. But it was fun. It was fun back in the day before I became an executive. When I was an executive, it got less fun, and then I quit because I became an investigator.
Let's go back. Let's go back in time.
I know, but I got to say this is my favorite job. But my second favorite was, just regular clothes loss prevention, probably. Oh, hi Zeke.
Hello. Your dog.
No. We're not gonna see. This is the problem,
It was my fault. I pet him.
Yeah, you can't.
I couldn't help it. He's so cute.
You got to go sit down because we're doing a live stream, and I can't do it when you're jumping on me. Mel has the shark. I for a second I thought that as like, wait, you have Shrek? Oh, Vegan Gains is live right now. I'm gonna lose all my followers because, everybody's gonna go watch him, right?
How can you tell? Where does that show?
Somebody probably already saw that he was live and. No, Vegan Gains is live. So, I understand. I'd go back in time 30 seconds. I'd go further than that.
I would go back in time to
make sure you had the right flux capacitor.
To when I started working at my last job because I would not be in so much pain right now.
Or, no, you would go back to when you were a little kid and wear your back brace.
I did wear my back brace.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I wore it every day.
No, Zeke,
23 hours, 22 hours a day.
No, sit down. Oh, you would go vegan sooner. Yeah.
That's good. Good point. I would go back to
and coach myself. Yeah. No, do it like this. Make this mac and cheese. Make it like this. Use
Just
nutritional
kidding.
yeast.
I nailed it.
I nailed it.
We got 7 more minutes with John as your sidekick.
With John as the well,
sidekick John.
You better do some dog whispering with my dog then because
I pet him and got him going.
Yep. I told you not to do that. It's horrible. I've been doing videos of just the dogs. Like a day in the life of the pups. Randy Macho Man Savage. Do I have an anti-aging machine in my, like Michael Jackson? Did he have one?
I don't know.
I
haven't been over to the ranch since I was a kid.
Well, I could tell more stories about like the.
I like stories. Give me one more good story.
See, when you say it like that, now my brain's
now
like.
You get nervous. Like, there's so many stories. I don't know which one I want to pull from.
Well, since we're talking about. You guys all know the Google story that I learned when I was little. That's kind of a funny one, but I think I've told it too many times.
I don't know if I know it. Do I?
What the word Google means.
What does it mean?
You don't?
I don't know. Should I know? Does everybody
I feel
else
like
know
everybody else has heard this like multiple times. It's not.
Oh.
But when I was little. Okay, so.
Is it a number?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know that.
Okay, I don't need to tell it. Okay, so we're talking about. Maybe I can think of another funny one or scary one. Oh, I could tell you the other when I was. A really weird one. Okay, so this is when I was an investigator. I went to a house of a neighbor, and I knocked on the door, and I can only describe this guy as looking like somebody from The Sopranos. And he only peeked his head out like this from the hallway down. He's like, "Hey, what do you want?" I'm like, I'm a special investigator. He's like, "Oh, wait, you're here for me?" I'm like, No. I'm here to speak with you about your neighbor for a security clearance. And he's like, You're sure you're not here for me? I'm like, No, I just need to talk to you about them. Sure about that? Hold on 1 second. And then he left somewhere, and I'm like, what? And then he comes back and he peeks out again. He's like, You're absolutely sure you're not here for me? I'm like, Yep, I'm here for so-and-so. He's like, all right. And he comes around the corner and he's like, all right, so what do we got here? And he starts talking to me. And I'm like, was this guy about to kill me? Did he have a gun behind his back?
Yeah, that's
like,
scary.
What's going on here? But yeah, that was kind of weird and funny. I can't say. Okay, so this is kind of interesting.
Okay.
I can't say certain things because obviously I can't. So I had to interview a guy for a security clearance. So these are all people that need. What I did for a job, I would interview people that needed security clearances, top secret clearances, whatever. Everybody that was in that position in the United States that needs one, it didn't matter how high or low they were. You know, I've worked in the Pentagon and other places. Well, I was in, I started off in the DC area, and I was interviewing this guy that was the director of a well-known organization here in the United States. So he's a bigwig, okay? He needs this investigation. I don't need this. He does. So first off, he was being a total jerk to me. And I need to ask him speaking of that, I just thought of one more too that I can tell you guys. So I'm speaking to him and I'm asking him the questions that are on the form that I legally have to ask every person, and he's getting mad at me. And first of all, I got to tell you, we agreed to meet at a certain time. Because, I called him up. I'm doing your clearance. When can I meet? He's like, come this day at this time. Okay. I get in there and I'm interviewing him. And one of the big things that you got to talk about here is foreign contacts, foreign nationals, leaving the country. These are things we got to really ask all the questions about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I see you were over in this country at this point, and it's redundant, but I have to ask these questions. If I don't, my case will get reopened, and they're going to say, why didn't you ask these questions? You need to contact this guy again. You need to ask these questions. So I'm like, I need to ask you these questions, and he's being a real jerk. I'm like, so when was the last time you were there? When are you planning to be there again, or do you have any plans to go there again, and stuff like that? And his response to me was well, I should be there right now with some family, but I'm doing this with you. And I'm like, I have to stay completely no emotion kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I can't get mad. I can't act like I'm judging her or anything. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I'm just, I'm like in my head, I'm like, man, you're a dick.
Yeah.
And so I ask him one more question about that, and he's taking these questions as like, are you questioning my loyalty to the country? Do you know who I am? Like, just a real bigwig. And he goes, you know what? He does it just like this. You know what? He looks right at me. Like, he probably has a lot of people kiss his ass because he's a director of a big organization. Me, I'm just this little investigator. I don't care if he gets an I don't care if he gets a clearance or not. He has no power over me. He cannot tell me what to do. I don't care.
Yeah.
So he looks at me, he goes, I think we're done with this investigation. And I go, okay. And I close my binder, and he goes, whoa, wait a minute. How much longer is this going to be? I'm like, however long you make it. And he's like, sit back down, okay. And then after that, he's like, super, because he knows I have to write that. Because I had to write. I'm like, at this point, he does not want to do the investigation anymore. So I closed my binder, and then he said, okay, maybe we'll continue this. So for the rest of this, he's like, he's telling me, he goes, I have a son about your age. Yeah, we're supposed to go camping and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, nice to meet you. Have a great day. Like, yeah, you kissing my butt now.
That's annoying.
Yeah. So that one reminded me of a one that was even worse than that. This one was up at Syracuse University, of all places. I go up here to meet with him. Again, like, this guy is like a decorated person, high position, and I need to ask him questions on, a student from, however many years ago. So, it's not it's not out of the ordinary that maybe he doesn't recall certain things, but I had to ask him 2 people. And I sat there and I waited for a good 45 minutes in this waiting room, and then he walked by and he's like, first of all, he wasn't nice at all. He goes, what are you doing here? What are you waiting for? I'm like, I was told to sit in this room. I'm waiting for this person. He goes, that's me. I'm like, well, I'm here to do an investigation. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, come out with me. So I go into his office with him, and, I start out with the Privacy Act, and I ask him, I go, okay, so tell me when you first met so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't know, you tell me. What does it say on the paper? I'm like, and very nicely I explain the rules. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't give you any information. Like, I can't give you any information. I can only gather the information. Because, it makes sense, it says it right there. Like, I met him in 2000 and what, but I can't tell him that. I can only gather it. So I told him that, and he goes, he lost it. He goes, well, that's going to be a pretty, he swore at me. He goes, that's going to be a pretty damn short interview then. And then he flipped out. He goes, you know what? Get out of here. He stood up and he goes, get out of my effing office. And I'm like, wow, why? But I stayed calm, and 2 things went through my head. I'm like, you get in my face, I'm either gonna knock you out, or I'm gonna let you do that to me, and I'm gonna sue the heck out of you. Yeah. So I slowly close my thing like this. I walk out, and he doesn't realize that he's not the only one I need to speak with. His secretary is right outside the door that I needed to speak with too for a couple records that I needed to get. So as slow as I could, I got up. He's yelling at me. He's right in my face. I don't know why he flipped out, but that was uncalled for. And I walk out of the office, and I immediately, I think he follows me out to make sure I leave the building, but I didn't. I just turned I go, hi, excuse me, I'm, so-and-so, I'm looking for a record and everything, and he just stormed out of there and just slammed the door. I'm like, I don't know what that was about, but true story.
Just play ball. I'm trying to get you clearance.
Yeah.
Not even, you don't care whether he gets it or not. You're just literally taking down information.
Yeah. And then, my first interview ever, obviously I can't say names, was a 4-star general. And I've only interviewed 2 of them. That's like big time. Now this guy was like famous. I didn't know it, but he was famous. He set a world record in something. I can't really say because you could easily look him up if I told you. And I had no idea that I was interviewing somebody that like high up. And I think I was there with remember Diane? Yeah. Because this was my first one ever, so I had to go with another qualified investigator to show me, to make sure I'm doing everything right. So my first interview ever, I didn't know really what I was doing, and he could tell I didn't know what I was doing, and I think he was getting really irritated at me until he realized it was my first day, and then he became like so nice to me. And
who is this idiot?
No, at the end of our interview, because at first he was kind of irritated. He's like, what do you mean? What? And then finally he's like, oh. And then he was like, really nice to me. And then at the end, he's like, oh, look at, here's my, here he is next to the president. And here he is setting these world records. And but it was really interesting. Like, I mean, I don't want to make him sound like he was arrogant, but like, they were worthy world records that he set,
cool.
And I was like, oh my God, and then when I left, he goes, here's my card. If you need to call me anytime, you can call me, and I'm like,
do you still have his card? Let's call him.
Probably.
Let's call him right now.
I still know his name. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. John is falling asleep. I'm putting you to sleep now?
No, it's not falling asleep. I'm just in a lot of pain.
Oh, right? Yeah,
Yeah, actually, you know what, guys? F you. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
I didn't really.
Just because I slept a couple times doesn't mean let it all out. No, just kidding.
Chris, it's like once you start.
Once you start.
Once you pop, you can't
and don't
stop.
forget these.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
No.
Oh, thanks for the stories. That was fun. I knew some of them. I didn't know some of them. So I think we can all say we learned something.
Some
today.
of them you've been around to witness, but
yep.
Not all of them. The funny thing is I have pictures of all those people I told the story. Like that crackhead I got in a fight. I have a picture of it.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, Indy, you're such a pop. All right, man.
All right.
Bye, everybody. I'll see you. Actually, Kristen and I are going to go live next Tuesday for sure, but I'm going to try to post a video.
So I'll see you next Tuesday.
Well, I'll see you next Wednesday.
Okay.
All right. Have a wonderful evening, especially you, Race.
If you walks out. Anyway, I don't know if we're going to keep going, if we still have stuff to talk about, if you guys still want to talk.
Probably 3.5, 4 more hours.
Well, that's what happened last time. I was like, this is going to be a short one, 40 minutes. And then I vented for 4.5 hours. So
maybe I'll chat on the drive home. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe you will. Okay. Anyway. Zeke, we got to go sit down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Lay down right over there.
No, Zeke. Stay up here. You're smart. Come on, Eddie. Up.
You're getting a lot of buys and a lot of big hugs and kisses, by the way.
Get up here. Get up here. All right. Good dogs.
I definitely missed a lot of comments. John's going to have to get a new one. These are almost gone, and I need my vitamin D myself. They're very bare minimum there. Not another Why do you guys hate these? Do you not want me to talk for... we can go now. All right, I'll answer a few questions here. Wait a minute. John's not in the house, and I just heard a bowl move. Get up here, Zeke.
It was me.
Oh, John's still here. Okay.
Yeah, I accidentally left with the soup bowl and got in my car with it.
Oh, you did? I don't know if you guys heard that, but John accidentally left with the soup bowl and got in his car with it, so he brought it back in. It was John. He just left. No, it was John. Oh, my God. This is what I have to go through with Indy. And then maybe Zeke will jump in, not knowing what he's barking at, just to be, like he's not left out. Indy, get over here. Stop it. Go lay down. Come on, lay down. All right. Okay, we'll stay and answer questions for a little bit. What was the question here? What razor do I use for my face? I shave it with electric razor, a hair razor, and I don't remember the name of it. I got it there was a Vegan Cuts men's grooming box that had some razors in it, and that's what I use. So I don't know. I barely ever shave because I let this grow up for a few months. The last I shaved was August? I think all September, October. I don't know. You could find out by my videos, when the last time I shaved was. Can I be your private security? I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. And I don't think I'd want it anymore. Like, times have changed, and like there'd be like so many videos on YouTube of like, what are you doing, when people don't see like both sides of the situation. And I wouldn't want to be on that. I wouldn't want that anymore. So I'm out of that game. I was told once, believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. My trimmer is called Wall. I think I had one of those before. I've had so many over the years because I used to buzz my own head, shave my own hair. Stop it. He doesn't want Zeke to get his toy. Lay down with your toy. Zeke, go lay down. Go lay down. You know what Zeke did? I'll tell you a story about Zeke last night. So this is what Zeke did. And, you know, I've trained him pretty well since I got him. But last night, after I took them for a run and a walk and fed them, I decided I was going to eat something. I made just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I cut it in half and I put it on a plate and I went out in the living room to relax and watch an episode of The Office. And I set it down and I said, you know what? My beard's pretty long. I'm going to need to go get a napkin. So I walk out in the room and I look back at Zeke and he's laying right there on the rug and I go, you stay right there, buddy. You stay right there. And I went in the kitchen, literally 3 seconds, grabbed that napkin, ran back over. And Zeke's standing up, and he's looking down like he did something bad. I'm like, what'd you do? And I walk over, and my sandwich is on the floor. He was a bad pup. When am I going to make action-packed zombie movies where I'm an undercover detective? I mean, I guess that sounds like a good movie. I guess I need a budget and I need a crew. But probably more a crew than a budget because we could probably do it very low budget if we had the right crew to do it. Oren wants to know if we talked about the COPPA. Yes, I did. Was it last week or the week before? I think it was last week. I talked about it for the beginning of the video. And I don't think any of my videos are made for kids. My brother's really worried right now because my brother does videos with his daughter, Katie. But I was talking actually to Linda here, and we think that I don't even think those videos are made for kids. They're just made, they're kid friendly, absolutely, but I don't think they're made for kids. And the more I watch on these videos, like I watched one today where the social media lawyer talks about it, and I don't know, even the lawyer can't really grasp what they actually mean when they say what are considered videos made for kids. And it's going to ruin a lot of channels. It's going to, people that are making a living doing this is what they do for a living. This is what I do for a living. So if they're getting no ads or limited ads, no community tab anymore, no comments anymore, no end cards or end screen titles, their channels are going to be ruined. They're going to, believe me, like if I lost this channel, I'm just saying, put myself in their shoes, but if I lost my channel, like I'd be devastated because I don't think anybody really knows other than yourself how much work you've actually put into creating something like this. I mean, I've put over 10 years of my life into this, and believe me, like everything revolves around this. This is what I do, and to lose that would be devastating. So yeah. Joseph, I didn't see Zombieland 2 yet. So yeah, back to COPPA. I think that it's supposed to start January 1st. So I guess we'll find out. Like, I think that I don't know. I think there's other things that they could have done rather than, it's almost like they're taking it out on the creators. But yeah, I mean, I think it's the beginning of, it's kind of violating our First Amendment. Everything is really censored now, and we're not free to, post things, put things up anymore. I mean, in a way, it's really being censored by the Federal Trade Commission. Let's see. Wait, Marmaduke, you're going over to Canada? Yeah, well, see, that's the other thing that they're saying, though. They can, my brother told me that that YouTube actually put his content, he didn't change anything. They set everything to made for kids. And although there's kids in it, I don't think it's made for kids. I think it's made for adults that are trying to parent vegan kids. But I told him, I go, just maybe change how you do things from now on. Maybe instead of letting Katie introduce everything, maybe you guys can introduce it with Katie in it, but you guys can kind of, guide the video. Because when I think of like videos made for kids, I think it's the little kid videos that my niece actually does watch. Like, they put it on and they're nothing that most adults would want to watch anyway. It's just like kids, like, this is how to count to 4. This is how to spell cat. That kind of stuff. I think those are the kid videos, but I guess the way the federal trade reads from what this lawyer said in his video was that if you think your video is not made for kids, and you put it not made for kids, but it's deemed that YouTube says, well, no, we think it's made for kids, then you can be fined the $42,000. And I don't think anyone wants to risk that. I don't know any YouTubers that are going to be wanting to pay that for a video. I know I'd have to get rid of my, I'd be homeless. You're going to Canada. Wow. You and Marina. Yeah, go to Canada. Like, you're going to move there or visit? You guys should come visit here. Well, no, you need to go lay down. Go lay down. Yes, I did see the video titled The Vegan Zombie. Yeah, I did. I saw that. So you just reminded me. I have to text my attorney real quick. Okay. So yeah, more than copyright. I actually I have the registered trademark for that. So how do I feel about Vegan Zombie video? What are you talking about? The other Vegan Zombie video or mine? No, I don't think they would have to change the name of the channel, because that's basically saying like my kid needs a napkin. Katie needs a napkin. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't have to change it too much. He can just talk about, I told him just to start talking about like parenting vegan kids, Just because you have kids in it doesn't necessarily mean it's made for all of my video. I don't think any of my videos are made for kids. They're made for, I make them for everybody. And I make them kid friendly, but they're not made, I never said these are for kids. In fact, maybe I'll purposely make sure they're not made for kids. But you can't really swear either, because if you swear, then you can be demonetized. So they get you on both ends there. So maybe I can just talk. I don't even know. If you guys were with me at the beginning, they demonetized 2 of my videos for ridiculous nonsense reasons that should not be demonetized. And the manual review did not work, in my opinion, because actually 3 of my videos, they did that too. And one of them is my most viewed video. I have the name trademarked, and I have the script copywritten. So, yeah, there's nothing. They don't have any legal ground there. Oh, you're moving there. That's sweet. But I still want to visit Sweden someday. You want to escape Europe? I want to go to Europe. What does Rachel do for work? She only has like a part-time job right now at a yoga studio because she's going to school full-time to be a nurse practitioner. Yeah, but I want to give another shout out to because that's another thing. I want to give another shout out to my patrons for Patreon, because yesterday was patron appreciation day, and I totally had it all planned out, and I totally slipped my mind. But I have a list, and I think I'm going to shout everybody out on the end of my videos, at least some of them. Or at least some of the Patreons on some of the videos. So, like different ones on each one or something like that. But, something. But I have it all written down here, so. Do I like butternut squash? I do, and you'll see that in my video tomorrow. Oh, you have a whole stream on the whole TV? Like, whoa. I'm on TV, Ma. You know what? I really like Canada, but every single time I go to Canada, they ridiculously stop me at the border and search me inside and out, my entire car, all the contents in the car. And the last time they made me go into a building and they made me wait there for 45 minutes, and I missed my interview on Montreal's radio station because of it. They don't like me. And I'm always wondering, is it because I used to be a federal investigator, special investigator in the United States? Maybe they're seeing, I don't know. I'm on some kind of list for them. They don't like me. I'd love to visit Sweden someday, I think. You want to come over here and YouTube for me, Marmaduke? Syracuse YouTube, and that would be funny if I just gave my channel to somebody for like a week, and then you would have to post videos and pretend you're me and give your impression of me. That would be funny. Maybe that's an idea for a video. Somebody else being like, "Hey, it's Chris. Welcome back to the Vegan Zombie," when it's clearly not me. What do you guys think? Somebody trying to be me the whole video? Can I really do 40 pull-ups? Are you talking about all at once or at the same time? My record of most pull-ups that I've done without stopping is 41. But I can't do that right now. So it's because I stopped doing them every single day. I was doing them every day till I got to the point where I could do 41. And I would win pull-up contests when I would go to Expo. Or at least come in like the top 1 or 2 people. I won one year. And then somebody beat me by 1, but I feel like they didn't really get that last one. Anyway, Yeah, I stopped doing them every day because I felt like I was hurting the nerve in my arm. So I would just do them a few times a week instead of every day, and then not as many too. Like I'm not going to do as many. I'm just going to do more reps of just maybe 10 or 15 at a time. So like today I did 15, and then I did 12, and then I did 12. So yeah. Huggies pull-ups. Oh, that'd be fun. I wonder if Craig would do that. If he could do Prison Mike for a video of mine. How long did it take me to build up to doing 40? I can't remember. I think a couple years. Oops, my battery died. Let me put a new battery in. You know I've been on long enough when my battery dies. You guys can still hear me, but you can't see me. And I don't have one of those cords that have like endless battery. But that's okay because I got 3 batteries. There we go. I'm back. Look who's back. Okay, I'm gonna charge that one. All right. How many chin-ups? I think I can do more chin-ups than pull-ups. Chin-ups are easier. So I do several different kinds to try to. I actually have a video on what I do, so you guys can see it. But I'll do pull-ups like this. I'll do pull-ups like this, and then I'll do chin-ups on different days. You thought Prison Mike was the guy in Jersey Shore? Oh, The Office. Has the views on my videos been picking up? No, not really. Oops. Are we still on? I don't know if I just ruined that. Can you guys still hear me? I just closed out of this account to go to my other account. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm streaming on this account. Maybe you can still hear me just because I'm streaming this through OBS. Hopefully. I can't see the comments anymore though, so let me go back. Hopefully. Oh yeah, right here. Okay. All right, we're good. Yeah, I can't see the comments anymore. That was very risky. What I just did. Oh yeah, right here. Okay. Do we need another color? All right, we're good. Yeah, I can't see the comments anymore. That was maybe green or something. What I just did. How's that? Right here. Do we need another color? All right, we're good. Yeah, I can't see the comments anymore. That was maybe green or something. Oh, you can hear me twice. How'd that happen? How's that? Right here. Do we need another color? All right, we're good. Yeah, I can't see the comments anymore. That was maybe green or something. Oh, you can hear me twice. How'd that happen? How's that? Right here. Do we need another color? All right, we're good. Yeah, I can't see the comments anymore. That was maybe green or something. Oh, you can hear me twice. How'd that happen? How's that? Right here. Do we need another color? All right, we're good. Yeah, I can't see the comments anymore. That was maybe green or something. Oh, you can hear me twice. Did that fix it? Hopefully that fixed it. I don't know. I have no idea how that just happened. We're good? Hello. All right, as long as we're good and you can't hear me twice, because that is annoying. Sorry, guys. I can hear myself in my microphone, in my headphones now, and that shouldn't be happening. I wonder if it's when I change the battery. I don't think so, though. Top audio. I'm going to try something real quick. Tell me. I'm just going to do it for a second. Can you guys hear me now? Of course, technical difficulties with Chris. It's never a Vegan Zombie live stream without technical difficulties. All right. So, all right. Where were we anyway? Oh, yeah. I was thanking everybody on Patreon. I got to make a post after this about that. Let's see. What do we got? Video capture device. I think this is too bright. Ready? Seems a little bright to me. Blame John. He might have done it. He's probably not on here though. I forgot what we were talking about. We were on a roll. On a roll. Were you guys on a roll? No. And he's sleeping and Zeke's just looking at him. No, get out of the garbage. Be glad I don't have a beagle or I probably wouldn't have an arm. If you want to. No, you got to go lay down. Go lay down. Here, go lay down. On a roll or on a roll? Both. Yeah, we should be live next Wednesday. What's next Wednesday? Oh, the day before Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's right. At the top of the hour. That's fine. I might what am I gonna do? I gotta start editing my video. That's what I gotta do. The video that I'm posting tomorrow. How many patrons do I have? Oh wow, Oren, thank you for the super chat. $50. Seriously, Oren, thank you for all your support. You've done a lot of super chats, so that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have 51 patrons. So I need to start talking about it more because I never really talk about it or promote it, but you know, with YouTube doing what it's doing, you know, we got to do something so we can continue to create content like that. So you know, stuff like that, like, I mean, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Oren. How do you get really sourdough bread? It's all about your starter. You got to have a nice starter. And I will have a part 1 and part 2 to that. Part 1 will obviously be how to make a good starter. And a starter is basically flour and water. And it ferments and it becomes sour and you feed it each day. And that is what you use in place of yeast because it becomes yeast for you. Ooh, good luck at the dentist. Thanksgiving love. I appreciate it. That sounds like a good channel, but I don't have a vegan restaurant or food truck or pop-up yet. No, sourdough bread is not gluten-free unless you make it like that. It's because the ingredients are flour, a lot of flour. And the only ingredients in the bread that I make is flour, water, and salt. That's it. Tooth pain sucks. Got retracted. How does that happen? It's all John's fault. Your tooth hurts? What'd you do to your tooth? What would you do if you became allergic to... This is... I can hear myself talking in this. What time am I uploading my video on Thursday, which is tomorrow? Well, if I work through the night and get the video done, I'd like to do it around 9 in the morning. But if I don't get it done, then it's going to be in the evening, maybe around 6. So 9 or 6. Bye, Jorge. Have fun at the gym. I think you're right. Impossible Meat's got your shadow ban. I hope not. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. I can look at my videos without closing out. That's what happened. I had 2 tabs open of the same live stream. That's why I was hearing myself twice. Can you guys hear me now? Hopefully. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah, I think I fixed it. I was like, why did that just happen? Duh. It's because I let me go to my videos and I'll actually look at the views. Not suitable. All my videos are suitable. Okay, vegan zombie. Unsubscribe. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Cooking vegan Thanksgiving food with my dogs. You know, it got okay views compared to the really, really bad views I've been getting. 4,500, 4,600. The long rant one that I got, I didn't think anybody would watch it, but yeah, 3,400. The plant tour, kind of low views. The chocolate video, it got 5,000, but that's a killer. That's a banging video. I thought that would get more than that. The UFO, you guys heard what I said about that at the beginning. I think he shared it on his social media, so it climbed up to about 6,000 there. But where is it? My Target video, they usually do a little bit better. That got 9,000. But the only video I have that in the last, I don't even know how long, that got over 10,000 views was when I donated my hair. But the only reason that it got over 10,000 views was because Craig, he filmed it for me and then he shared it on his Hercules channel because everybody liked the video that he posted when Max cut his hair. So he shared when I cut my hair. And that's the only reason it got over 10,000 views. So it's still not doing well over here. Trini, you never got a flu shot? I might have got one when I was a little kid, but anywhere in my like teens and adults, I never got one either. You know, and I used to go get fillings and stuff in my teeth before I was a vegan. But after that, I've never had to have a filling. I never had a cavity. Yeah, Chris says accounts with way less followers and less quality content get way more views. So I've been watching a lot of videos on why that is and stuff, and it's just basically people see a thumbnail and stuff like that, and then they end up watching videos like that. It's just a lot of quality videos aren't getting viewed anymore, and that's what YouTube is promoting to people and showing up in people's, and people are like kind of like seeing the algorithm and able to like kind of work the system. Joseph with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate. When you was broke, what was your money grocery budget? I never budgeted anything out. I'm a very bad planner, but it's all in my head. So like I would know, like, so I can't give you an exact number. But when I was really broke, probably the brokest I've ever been was when I moved to Florida on my own when I was 19, and I had very little money, and I was paying for rent, and I would just go to the grocery store and buy the cheapest things I could find, really, that were vegan. Nothing really stood out. Like I never, like I can think back now and say, wow, I was poor and I made it work. I had to eat, so I ate. But there was nothing that, like, at the time I was thinking, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this as a vegan. Like it wasn't a question to me. It was just like, I need to eat food. And so being vegan wasn't a question. Like I never thought like, oh man, I don't think I can be vegan because I don't have any money. It was more like, what am I I got to go buy food. So what am I going to buy, But really I had no money. Yes. But even right now, I'm like, I'm making it work. Like, I'm not saying like, when I was an investigator, when I worked at Target, being single and all, and having really not many bills, I had a lot of money. Like I made decent money, and it was the most money I'd ever made. So, I took that money and I put it all into the vegan zombie. Like everything we did, like, that's what I did. I put all that money into there. But now that I'm doing it full time, I got to be careful because I don't have a big savings account that I can take from. I'm living very frugally. I'm doing what I can to make this work. And, it's awesome that I can do this for a living, for a job. But in the long run, like down the road, like, I think about it. I'm like, I really have nothing in savings. Like, what happens if something happens with YouTube? Like, what am I going to do? Like, it's kind of scary, because I'm not making, like, I'm only making enough to basically pay my bills. And I was smart because when, I had the things that I liked before I was doing this. Like I had, I have my one vehicle, but I also had like a truck that I wanted forever. So I had that, and I would keep that in the garage and pretty much only drive it on special occasions. And then when I decided I was going to move to California, which didn't work out, by the way, that's a whole other story. I was convinced I was going to move out there, and my friends were like, you got a place to stay, come on out here. And then they backed out of it. But before they backed out of it, I'm like, I have no use for two cars anymore. So I sold my truck. I took all that money and I paid off my car. So I have no payments on my car anymore. And my house that I'm living in now, I rented it out. So at that point, even though I was a homeowner, I was homeless. And then they told me I had nowhere to go. I couldn't come out there anymore. I had nowhere to stay. So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I can't just go back on these tenants that I just rented my house to. Like, I'm homeless. Like, wow, I'm homeless now. I'm in my 40s. I'm homeless. What am I gonna do? And I was too, I guess, stubborn and proud to like be like, hey, I need to stay I don't like to inconvenience people and stuff. So I was totally prepared to set up a tent and camp as a homeless person. Wow. But I have awesome parents, and they let me stay there for a little bit. And when my tenants moved out and ruined my house on me, I moved back in. So yeah, I had to live very frugally at the time. But selling my truck and renting out my house for more than the mortgage was let me save a little bit more money. But now I'm back at where I was, and I got to be very careful about this. And that's why I'm kind of concerned with the way YouTube's going and how things are doing. And I hate it. I would never ever do like a GoFundMe or anything like that. I don't like asking, but I have a service. So like, you can support on Patreon, or like, I feel even better when people, purchase my ebook or like shirts that I make, because you're actually getting something that I feel is completely worth it, but you're also supporting the channel. And then I can continue to make the stuff I like, to promote veganism in a fun way, and I can give you guys, I don't know, my experience over the years as a vegan, so my parents did let me stay with them. And then I ended up staying at my aunt's house, which was my grandma's house where my dad grew up. And so things just didn't work out for me. I would be doing okay right now if things worked out, but they didn't. I wanted to buy the house because my aunt was going to sell it to me. She was going to sell it to me for like under half of what it was worth. So it was a huge deal. And I grew up going there. It was my grandma's house. It's where my dad was born. So it's very familiar to me. And I used to do videos from that house back in 2017. So it was very homey to me. And she was willing to sell it to me because she didn't want to upkeep it, and she wanted to just live in, a nice apartment that she was in. So I was totally prepared to buy this now. I'm like, well, I'll buy this house, I'll live here, and I can continue to rent my house out for an income. So I tried to get a loan for it, and I'm like, it was a very small. I'm like, look, I have a unique situation here. And I wasn't able to get a loan. And then I tried to get a cosigner, and then that didn't work. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose this opportunity. And I did. I lost the opportunity, and I wasn't able to buy the house. So, I don't know. Kind of sucked there. So I'm still back at square one. How did they? Yeah, they did. They did. They ruined my house. My tenants ruined my house. Geez, I don't even know where to start. I took a bunch of pictures of it. I was going to bring them to small claims court. I didn't bother doing it, but I probably should have. All of my floors are hardwood floors, and they let their animals completely ruin it. And when I came back to the house, my neighbor actually had to call me and say, Chris, they left your front door open, and I just want to let you know. And I'm like, oh man, stop it. Leave him alone. So when I came in here, first of all, it smelled like cat pee so bad, which I never allowed her to have cat. She said she had a dog. I said, that's fine, but no more. Some people don't take care of their animals. All of the floors were completely beyond repairly stained. Not beyond repair. I had to pay like almost $2,000 to get them repaired. No, you need to go lay down. Hey, no, you're going to pull the cords out. Come on, go. Here, take this. Go. They left. There was cat poop everywhere. They didn't pick any of it up. The cat throw up. Dirty clothes stuck around the lining of my wash machine, and tons of just nasty, dirty clothes in piles downstairs for me to throw away myself. It was horrible. Everything was horrible. And I had to get all my floors redone, just at bare minimum, to get the smell out of here. So, yeah. In the long run, they ruined my house. So. No, my house is not already paid for. Man, they really get you with a mortgage. With all the money I paid in the last 10 years, it should be paid for, but that's a lot of taxes. So I still owe a lot of money. In fact, I got an estimate that the house won't even be paid off at the rate I'm going until like 2041. 30-year loan. I got it at 4%. Yeah, super nice people. Yeah, I got pictures and videos of the whole thing, and I was gonna try to sue them, but I was just like, all right, I cut my losses. I actually talked to my lawyer, and I got some advice, and he said it sucks, but the best thing is probably just take a loss on this and don't let it happen again. No, that's the other thing. It was a friend. It was a friend. It wasn't a complete stranger. So that makes it worse. The other thing that they did is they ruined my front yard. They ruined the tree in my front. My trees have to be cut down now. They're dead because the faucet out front that goes for the hose it broke somehow, and water would just come out. And the only way that they figured that they could turn it off without putting like a hose cap or something on it, or calling me up and say, hey, Chris, my landlord, the hose broke. They never let me know. The only way they could turn that water off was to No, come on. You need to go lay down. Here, take this. Take your toy. Go lay down. And the only way to turn it off was to turn the main water off in the house, which would turn the shower and the sinks and everything else off. So I don't know if they would do that sometimes, but they basically flooded my lawn, and the water bill, which is normally like $30 for like, I don't know, 3 months or something, turned into like $600 and ruined my whole yard. Like the trees are dead now, and there's just stumps in my yard. And I don't know why they wouldn't. Well, now I know. They didn't tell me that it was broken because they didn't want me to come to the house and see how much they ruined it. I don't know how they. And she had a kid too. Like, how could that kid live in like a place that smelled that bad? I don't know. Yeah. Well, not a friend anymore. And they skipped out and never paid my last month's rent. So it actually didn't really work out there. I don't like to complain, but like a lot of bad things happened in the last couple of years. Oh yeah, I mean, I think I went to the store and bought like over $100 worth of cleaning products to just clean the house, and I hired a guy to redo all my hardwood floors, which were all the stairs, the downstairs, the upstairs, all the bedrooms. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was her and a roommate when they started out, and the roommate moved out and I had no idea. And apparently my neighbors filled me in after the fact, and she had several people living there with her. And I don't even know who they were. I still get mail here from some of these people. But she had several people living here. I don't know how many. I think at one point the neighbor said like 5, which they were not on the lease. Zeke, go play with your toy. Go play with your toy. I'm probably going to have to get going in another 5 minutes. We'll get going when it's at 3 hours. So I'm going to answer all the questions now that you guys have, unless I go off on tangents like this. I wonder if it was a drug house, but it could be. It could be, you know. I wouldn't put it past it. No, no, here, no, over here, go lay down. See, I tricked him. He likes playing tug of war with me. He also likes trying to eat my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I did not sage the house after that. I'm weird. Like if there's something here, if there was the one thing that my roommate did, or not my roommate, my tenant did. My tenant texted me one time and said, "This is a really weird question, but has anything ever weird or paranormal or strange ever happened here?" I'm like, "Why?" Because I didn't want to tell her. Like, yeah, but why? And she said, "Because there's nobody here but me, and I keep hearing somebody running up and down the stairs." And I'm like, "Oh, no," because I didn't want her to move out. I needed a tenant to stay there at that point. My question's so far back now. Ancient Fern, sorry if I missed some questions. I probably missed a lot of questions here, guys. But okay, so I'm reading your question. I think this is the one. It says, "I know you've mentioned your straight edge lifestyle in other live streams. I adore this. Is that something you would talk more about? Any tips?" Yeah, Stop it. Come on. Zeke, go play. Yeah, I took the label of straight edge when I first heard about it when I was about 14 years old, 13, 14. But I've been straight edge all my life. I've never done drugs. And again, cause I don't want, I got a message once and I don't want anybody to think that when I talk about that part of my life that I'm judging anybody else. Cause I'm not. This is just for me, and I don't think differently of anybody. None of my family, none of my friends are straight edge. Maybe I have a couple straight edge friends, but most of my friends are not straight edge, and none of my family is straight edge. So, I don't judge other people. Just personally, it goes back to I want to be the healthiest I can, but I don't want to poison my body, and I don't want to lose my state of mind. So I've never been drunk. I've never tasted alcohol. I've never smoked a cigarette. In fact, I don't take any pain medicine, and I won't take medicine unless it's a life or death situation or something that I absolutely, I'm not going to be stupid either, but for the most part, and I haven't had to, because I have a pretty good immune system, and I haven't had to take medicine. So, yeah, I guess that's it. I just want to be poison free and not, I realize that this is the only body that I have. And, it's the only body all of us have, unless someday in the future, but we won't get in there. It's the only body that I have, and I want it to be the healthiest it can be because, I've always been straight edge, but just going back, even 10 years when I had sciatica, I know how it feels to be chronically in pain all the time. And I don't want that ever again. I don't want that feeling. So I want to keep my body in the best shape and the best health and condition that I can be in, so, and I know that drinking not, once in a while isn't gonna hurt people, but in my brain, when I first saw it, when I was in 7th grade health class, what cirrhosis of the liver looked like, it kind of just scared me to be like, if that's what a lot of alcohol does, I don't want even a little bit in my body. And I'm fine with that. I don't need to, people ask me all the time, you don't drink, or, oh, you're at a party and you're not drinking. Are you having fun? It's I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm missing, and I don't care. But I know that, certain drugs and being inebriated, you can't just will yourself out of something. And again, I don't want to lose my state of mind. So I guess that's pretty much why that I'm straight edge. Yeah. I hope I answered your question there. Hi, Tabitha. How are you? Yes, that is true, Michael. Scott Michael. I'm just trying to read some of these last questions here. Being vegan basically cured my alcoholism. I feel the effects and I just want to stop. So I just keep quitting things. You are very inspiring. Well, you got to do what works for you. I know that, I mean, honestly, what it comes down to is willpower, mind over matter. And it's something that I'm very good at. When I put my mind to something, even when I'm trying to eat healthy, like I've been eating healthy recently because I did so many, I was at the vegan Thanksgiving. I was eating some things that weren't as healthy. They're delicious, but I'm trying to eat healthier now. And it's mind over matter. You tell yourself what you got to do. And, everything like that's, I don't always want to work out every day, but I make myself do it. I work out and I keep myself healthy. So, it's not hard for me to say like, I could try this beer and see how it tastes, but I have no desire to do that. And, that's fine if you want to drink a beer. But for me personally, and this is my journey and my journey only, like I'm drug free, I'm alcohol free. And, I don't know why, like I've seen my dad smoke all my life and even most of his life. So, and I've wanted him to stop ever since I can remember knowing what it was. And so why would I want to do that? And I see young people start smoking and I'm like, well, in my dad's defense, they didn't know back in the 40s, 50s that it was bad for you because all of the publicity. I mean, even doctors say like, when I smoke this brand. So it was everywhere. It was promoted everywhere. It was in movies. It was on billboards. But nowadays, we know that it's not good for you. It's really bad for you, and it causes cancer. And people still do it, and I don't understand why. I've always wondered that. So, obviously, I never wanted to smoke a cigarette because of that. People ask me, well, you're not cool. Well, okay, then I'm not cool. So I never gave in to peer pressure, and I just kept a strong mind. So I don't know if I can give that advice to anybody else because everybody's mind is their own mind. But in the end of the day, nobody makes decisions for you except for you. You make your own decisions. Joseph looks forward to seeing my videos all the time. Well, thank you, Joseph. I'm glad there's people out there that enjoy my videos because, again, I wouldn't be doing them if it wasn't for you guys. Hear how I kind of mumbled that? I didn't mean to. I don't criticize people for what they do, but well, except for my dad. I want him to stop smoking. Like, I really want my dad to stop smoking. I've done so much to try to get him to stop smoking. But when people, so one time, and I'm totally cool with what other people do, but one time I was staying out at a buddy's, and they were all smoking weed, and that's fine. I don't care. But I don't want to be around it, so I'm just going to go to another part of the room. And this one guy kind of got mad that I was being like, and I was like, dude, I'm not criticizing you. Go ahead. I haven't said anything. Like, smoke it. I don't care. I just don't want to breathe it. And he was like, well, what? It's no different than you smelling the smoke on a campfire. I'm like, for one, there is a difference. And two, if the campfire is blowing in my face, I move to a different part of the fire. Like, I'm not going to sit there and let this. It just was making no sense. And it was kind of irritating that somebody was criticizing me because I wasn't doing it, especially me as an adult. Like, I'm just not cool with that. Like, you could say what you want. Like, I'm cool with what people do, but once you start criticizing me for my beliefs or what I'm doing, like, I guess I get pretty defensive sometimes because, as you know, in another video, like, I was bullied as a kid. So as an adult, I don't put up with it at all, ever. So carbonated water with hops, that doesn't sound like anything I would want, because I don't even really do carbonated water. I don't do soda. I prefer just plain water, or a fresh juice or a smoothie, and that's really the only thing I'll drink. I don't even do kombucha. Yeah, my dad still smokes. And you know what? He had a major surgery at the beginning of the year, and he quit smoking because his doctor, you need to quit smoking. He had to quit smoking. He had surgery on his artery, and because he had an aneurysm. And they said, you need to have a surgery now, or it could explode at any time. So in order to get ready for the surgery, he had to stop smoking. So he stopped smoking for like 2 or 3 months, which I was like, oh my God, my dad stopped smoking. I'm so happy. And then he went and got a surgery. And yeah, like I was really like, I don't normally get sad, but I was really sad that night because we all hung out at my brother's house. And normally when my dad, when I leave, he'll say like, oh, love you, or see you later. This time, like, and we don't, at least me, I've never been like a hugger, like for, anyone, like my mom or dad. And I gave him a hug. I'm like, I'll see you in the morning at the thing. And he said, take it easy. And the way he said it was just like, it just was really sad because like he said it because he didn't know if he was going to make it. And I was like, I'll see you later, but I was trying not to cry. So anyway, he made it through the surgery. We had a scare after the surgery, but he came through, made it. And then he started smoking again because now he's like, oh, the doctor said, oh, even though you've been smoking since you were like 15, like that almost twice my age, So he's like, your lungs seem fine, and now you got like a stent in your artery. So, he's bragging about like, oh, they said that'll last for thousands of years. So even after I'm dead, that stent will still be there. Dad, you got to stop smoking. But he started again, and I've done so much to try to get him to stop smoking. I know I should probably do a video on it, but I talked about the time that I gave him a Father's Day card where I responded to a letter that he gave me in 1987. And I never responded to it when I was little. And I felt bad. I'm like, oh, I'm going to write back to him. I'm going to write back to him now from 1987. And I did that. And you know what? I'm so stupid. I should have done a video on that because that video probably would have been, I think a lot of people would have liked that video. But there's no way I could get like an honest, genuine reaction now because we already saw it. It already happened. Oh, man, I'm so stupid. Yeah, my brother does the nicotine lozenges. The thing with him is he quit smoking almost 8-9 years ago, and he's been doing nicotine lozenges for like 8 years or more. I'm like, that's not good for your mouth. You need to stop. And believe me, I don't ever tell anybody what to do except for my family. I feel like it's my family, and like I'm like, you got to start eating better. You got to stop smoking. But like, you'll never see me do that to like anyone else because, you're free to do whatever you want, except for my family because they're the only family I have. And I don't apologize for that. Yeah, it's hard. I guess it's really hard. Part of me, I would obviously never do this, but part of me wanted to be like, you know what? I'm gonna start smoking just so I can quit and show people that I can do that. I'm gonna do heroin just so I can quit it. Like I'm gonna do all these things to break that because I truly think it's mind over matter. But, obviously, I would never do that. How about that for a YouTube video? You think it'd go viral? I start heroin just to break the habit. No, I'm straight edge. What are we making for Thanksgiving? Wow, we have a whole spreadsheet on it. I got invited, of course, again, to my brother's Thanksgiving. And there's like a whole Excel spreadsheet on what everybody's bringing. So, it's the normal. And it looks like everything's, I hope everything's going to be vegan again because last year everything was vegan. But I do have a couple family members that are not vegan that hopefully they don't bring something with them that's not vegan. It's, the normal, like the tofurkey and the gardine and, the potatoes and the stuffing and the, I'll probably make rolls and maybe I'll make my sourdough bread. Am I going to tell Christmas stories? I could tell Christmas stories. It's another nostalgic time for me. Christmas stories. I did a whole Christmas video. I get kind of weird during that time because to me it's like, I get sad because like it reminds me so deeply of the times when I was little that are gone forever. And so yeah, it's like I kind of showed that in my last video for last Christmas. Sorry, that's just my thing. Like, I feel like all the movies that I have in my mind to make are very emotional videos where, like, they show some kind of, at some point, even if it's not overall, but they show some kind of, like, sadness. And for me, I feel like those movies are the movies that people remember the most. Like, I could watch some comedy and be like, oh, that's funny, or some drama, like, oh, that's pretty cool. But it's those movies that really tug at your heartstrings to be like, I will never forget that movie. Like E.T. did that to me. I will never forget. That's my favorite movie of all time. But also, there's several other movies that are like that, like Last of the Mohegans. And those movies stay with me. So that's just kind of my style. And there's definitely a part of that in my movie, the Vegan Zombie movie. And I've been told, like, I got to change this or I got to change. I don't want to. I need that. I need that in there. But yeah, so hopefully I can make it the way I envision it. Marmaduke, of course you know what I'm talking about. You are my you're the female doppelganger of me. What's my favorite Christmas movie? Oh man, it's kind of hard for different reasons, different things, and it's all based on nostalgia for me. Probably, I love It's a Wonderful Life, but also, and this is kind of weird because this came out in the 90s, but Home Alone, the first one, it's overall funny, but there's certain aspects in there that bring me right back to being a kid. And yeah, so that's another one of my favorites. Probably the most watched from everybody is A Christmas Story. And I don't know. I think that's so played out that it's like, for me, it's like The Wizard of Oz. I just don't want to see it again because I've seen it so many times. But like the classic, like Christmas Vacation, and I'm trying to think what else. You know what movie I watched that it's a nostalgia, but it's not a Christmas movie. Oh, Gremlins. I love Gremlins too. That's a Christmas movie. But a movie that is not a Christmas movie that I watched on Christmas time that is kind of nostalgic to me is My Girl with Macaulay Culkin. I remember I stayed home. I'm like, I'm not going with you guys. I was like 14 or 15, so I didn't have to go to church with my parents. And I'm like, they're all going to Christmas Mass. I'm going to stay home and watch TV. And that movie was on, so I watched it. Home Alone is massively popular in Russia. It's massively popular here too. I love it. near the end when he starts to try to like when he goes to that church and stuff like that, it's like I didn't tell you guys this, and like I think I've like talked about this in other live streams, but you guys know that I'm not religious, but I was brought up religious, so I don't like to go to church, but for the sake of nostalgia, because it's so powerful with me, is I went to church, Christmas Mass with my parents, where when I was a kid, I'm like, I don't want to be here. I hate going to church. And then once I didn't have to go anymore, I never went. But then I was like, you know what? I do want to go with you guys. And I went. And I was just like, I wasn't there for the religion. I was there for other things. And when I say that I celebrate Christmas, it's for me, it's a special time in my head of my growing up, my nostalgia. It's not about religion for me, and and I still like to celebrate it though. And I mean, I can. It's my choice to do that. But yeah, I went to the Christmas Mass, and basically I was just taking everything in. I was the smells, the atmosphere, the ambience, the trees, the lights. Yeah. And the whole time I realized that, it wasn't about like what I thought it was when I was a little kid, getting all the presents. It was about the memories that I had. And that's all I really wanted. I just wanted to stay there. And that's why, if you guys have watched my channel for a while, the last few years, every Christmas Eve, I go down to Clinton Square here in Syracuse really, really late at night, because it's got like the big, huge tree, and you'll see it in my videos if you see it. You'll see what I'm talking about, but I like it when it's snowing out. It hasn't snowed every year, but when it's snowing out, because it's like the one time that you go down there and it looks amazing, but also it's so peaceful and quiet, and the snow just kind of muffles out any echoes of any sound. And at that time of night on Christmas Eve, nobody is on the streets. So there's no cars, there's nothing. I'm just standing there, it's just perfect. So like that is the same feeling I had when I was going, when I actually did go to church with my parents that one time. So why do I care so much about that? It's because I guess in all honesty, I have a lack of feeling of other feelings. So like nostalgia is one that actually hits me hard. Like yesterday I was driving and I heard a Christmas song, and I'm like, I put it on and I'm like, I'm going to listen to this, and it's like, I don't even know. It wasn't even in English. And I can't remember the song, but I kept it on because that was something that I remember when I was little. It's like, I don't remember which one it was, but it wasn't like one of those. It was the one with like the bells, and it wasn't like, like a poppy happy one. So you watch, yeah. So Produce watched my Christmas vlog. Do you see how I did that? I tried to capture what I was feeling, and basically everybody was inside having a good time singing Christmas songs and everything. And I kind of zoomed out in the outside. I was outside in the snow, and it was perfect because I captured what I was feeling. Like I was happy that everybody was right there, and I was just like, I wasn't joining them. I was looking at it and feeling how I felt as a kid. And I was trying I guess every year I try to get that, and it's like hard for me to capture that and feel the same way that I did. And that's what I try to do, because things are so different now, but that's what I was trying to zoom out, pan out, and capture. Hopefully I did it. Yeah, Marmaduke. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. says, I was just going to say the church scene at Home Alone with the neighbor with the shovel, the creepy guy that ends up being like a good guy. That's one reason I love to go to old Victorian churches, nostalgia. I'm not religious either. Same here. Wow, we've gone over almost 3.5 hours here. I'm going to have to get going though. Let the dogs back out. And what's my favorite Christmas song? It's either I don't know the name of the other one, or and I don't even, you know what, I don't even know the name of it, but I think it's called the first Noel. The first Noel. That one, or one with the bells, and I don't know the name of it. Next time I hear it, I'll do the Google thing, and I'll let you guys know when we get closer to Christmas. I definitely captured it. Thank you. Did I ever watch Charlie Brown? I did. Yeah. The only reason I went to church was because I thought it was beautiful. Churches are beautiful. Well, most of the ones I've been to. But I was forced to go as a kid, and I hated it. I hated it. And now that I'm not forced to go anymore, I'm like, this can make me feel like I did when I was a kid, when I hated it. And I realized that, that moment is gone forever. No, not Jingle Bells. But I think that's the song they were singing in my video. Good night, Oren, and thank you again for that super chat and all your support. I really appreciate it. I can't even talk. I've been talking too much. Silver Bells is a good one. Not my favorite. And the other thing, and maybe I can share this with you guys, is when I was growing up, way before camcorders, my dad would film everything on his movie camera. So I have all these Christmases of when I was a little kid, and all these awesome moments that I could that we could watch and I could narrate for you guys, hopefully. And you can see how I grew up. You could see it secondhand, because it already happened. Oh man, peace and vegan pizza. You're making me so hungry. I'm so hungry already. I mean, I had soup at the beginning of this live stream, but that was 3 hours ago. Good night, Chris. Thank you. You saw the Trans-Siberian. My dad loves Mannheim Steamroll. Is that what it's called? He just plays that over and over, and I'm like, can we get some more classic music? What's his name? I forget his name. I'm not even going to try to think about it. Okay, it looks like this is a good. Would I put a video clip of here? Yeah, I always do Christmas vlogs and stuff, but this sounds like a good time to get going. There's still 73 people in here. We've been on for 3.5 hours. That's way crazy, but I'm glad you guys like this. Bing Crosby, but there's another guy. Who was the other guy? Not Jerry Lewis, but his buddy. Nat King Cole is a good one, but I downloaded a bunch of music from. You guys are going to know it now. Somebody will know it. Dean Martin. There you go. I was waiting for that. And with Dean Martin, we can now say goodnight. So, good night. Watch out for zombies, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon.